at what point, I know no one cares about tennis. At what point is Djokovic the GOAT over Federer?
Did he beat?
He beat the Canadian guy,
okay,
which was an upset. The Canadian guy.
What? He was favored?
He's a 3 seed. Our guy was the 3 seed. Joker was the 7.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, and he was like 5 hours, 5th set, all that nonsense, back and forth. So yeah,
but it's funny, like neither one of us really knows that guy's name, though, right?
It's Ali Yassim. It's Ali Yassim Auger.
Yeah, he has
I always pronounce it wrong. Yeah.
He has the hyphen.
I know the Ali Yassim, but the kid is gonna win a major at some point.
If he's ranked 3rd.
He's really talented, man. He's the best men's.
He's French, right?
He's the best Canadian men's tennis player, in my opinion, ever, and he will go down as that.
Milos Raonic.
He's gonna be better than Milos. Maybe.
I hope so.
I think he will be.
I hope so.
But it is 11. I want to thank Joe for filling in while I was stuck on the transit in. So on the train, which didn't end. Well, eventually it got going.
Yeah, you got.
But we'll be back at 2. We're gonna enjoy our. What are we calling that bowl?
Mexican bowl.
The Mexican bowl.
Mexican chicken bowl.
We'll see how it is. I don't know.
Why not?
It sounded tasty. And we're going to send you guys over to the midday. Sharif is in Sky Q. Joe is probably in
Enjoy the bowl.
SpaceX. We'll enjoy
Get
yourself.
it, Joe. Get in SpaceX, Joe.
Go get him.
Talking about GOATs, let's talk about the market's GOAT, Jensen Huang over with NVIDIA. I have some more details here from this report from the information suggesting that China will be allowing top AI firms to potentially purchase a limited number of NVIDIA H200 chips. Apparently, these firms include Alibaba, ByteDance, and DeepSeek, and the total limit for the chips they could be allowed to purchase will be under 200,000 total. So that's under 200,000 total NVIDIA H200 chips that could be purchased by, again, the likes of Alibaba, ByteDance, and DeepSeek. Just a little bit more clarity on that NVIDIA catalyst as we send you over to Joe and Sharif for what should be a smashing midday.
Smashing midday. I follow you, DeepSeek, baby. Boom. Greetings and salutations. Beautiful people, welcome to the Midday Show. This is your boy, Joey Options. I am Sharif. And Joey, we're already long Sky Q, and I got to do it. There goes Sky Q into the high of the day. We're looking for 41s next. We got 11s on. Go, Sky Q, go. If you were with us yesterday, you already know this is a day 2 runner as it comes into another high of day, Mr. Options, into that 41 area. We're waiting to wet the beak there at last. The print does not come in. So let's say hello to everybody while we have an opportunity over here. Shout out to Hangry Wife. We got Rusta. We got Shane. We got Party P. Shout out to Team Money, man. Yeah, it's okay. You know, it is what it is. My man Ichiro, Andrew Chow, Kalua, your owner. Somebody owns us. Andrew Hemlock. Shout out to Blunder Corp. Love that name. Farm Trader, Yannick, Monty, Callum, Mitchell, Frickin, Miller, Trading, Lemur. Shout out to Darth Trader, as well as Think Organics Studio. You're going to have a studio, Joey. You might as well keep it organic. You know what I mean? I don't even know what that means. Hakuna Matata, Broken Arrow 1973, and Iceberg TV joining us as well. Shout out to Monty G, Snowman, Mike, the Stock Impaler, and Oslam. Not Ozan, Oslam, Kalua, SPX Surfer. He's serving these SPX. Shout out to Trav Man. We got Lemon Family 2, New York Sense, and Robo Girl. Get it, Robo Girl. We got Kirk D, and we got Joey with this message.
All right, this week VinFast India partnered with Shriram Finance to support EV financing access, while Green SM launched all-electric ride-hailing in Kazakhstan. With VinFast VF6 vehicles together, these moves highlight VinFast's broader mobility ecosystem strategy. You can find them on the NASDAQ under ticker VFS.
Oh, that's nice of you, Rick James Trading. Bye. See ya.
What do you say, Rick James?
I don't
Trading?
know, man. I don't know. Something's wrong with him, bro. Maybe he's like down on the.
A
lot of people's portfolio probably started a little red. He woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You know, he's down a couple of thousand. Who knows what his problem is, but he's got some sort of problem there. But Sky Q, Joey, it is now knocking on the door of 4.5 with a 439 high. We're looking for 4.5 on this one. And, you know, if we clear that 4.5, I'm definitely looking for 5. How's your money, my man?
It's good, man. I'm in the same boat with Paulie D over here, man. Trust me, Friday, your boy Obi is going to be sitting in this seat. Don't worry about that one. Yeah, I mean, hey, guys, we took 2 trades bright and early this morning. I'm like, you know what? let's let things cool down, because after the show is when I was putting on my best trading. I'm like, sometimes the opening drive, not my best style. We just started to rebound. I think it was CLRO, boom, put us right back in the driver's seat. And then once things started to cool down in the afternoon, leading into the imbalances, we hammered some TQQs. So we were fortunate enough to completely turn the session around yesterday. Now we're going to try to do the exact same thing today. Now with Tesla, we took 2 attempts, and this one I just went full throttle, bang, off to the races. And I was going to try to hold my full position all the way to 1270, but I'm like, you know what? If we're not going to go now with the market screaming higher, Tesla ain't going at all. All right, so boom, to the downside it goes, and good thing that we got out, because we added almost 3 times the amount of shares than what we had right here. All right, so Tesla sell side, we would have been done for the day if we bag held all the way through this downward momentum. So yeah, we're gonna keep our eyes on it, and what helped us out yesterday was the small caps. So I hear Sharif going on about SkyQ. What is my first instinct to do is to go and check it out and see if it has that setup. Now, is there anything along the lines of what I'm looking for, a high of the day break? That is, I'm not seeing anything right now, but that doesn't mean the narrative isn't going to change, all right? So we'll be patient. We'll keep our eyes on NVDA, which is, I mean, hey, we'll take it, but we're really struggling around this $200 marker. What does that lead me to do, Sharif? I'll tell you right now, and this is something that I always do.
Man likes that.
What's that?
He likes that.
Yeah. But then I think that's like what we do around these neck of the woods now, right?
Yeah, it's like you can't expect me to, like,
exactly to know what's going on. So what do I do, Sharif?
Yes,
we
sir.
look at the options chain. $200, 34,000 contracts. Look how much volume has been traded at that level, okay? 311,000 contracts. Uno momento, Sia. Okay. So once we're done our little spiel right here, we'll send it back to the desk. But 34,000 open here and 312,000 open and closed at that specific level. It's clearly acting as a resistance zone, and until we break it and have the ability to sit on top of 200, maybe there's no long for us to be had in NVDA. Sia, what do you have?
Yeah, just keep an eye out. USO on watch here. Reports coming from Fox News that the U.S. military is ready to start the blockade on Iran if needed and if ordered. Just repeating, USO on watch here. Reports coming in from Fox News that U.S. military is ready to restart blockade on Iran if it's ordered to.
Thank you very much for that, Sia. Ozan, 200 is NVIDIA's biggest negative gamma exposure.
Yeah.
Dealers are selling shared to stay delta neutral, and he tagged you and I. Remember, I told him 200 level. Yes, I do remember that. Shout out to Ben Affleck as well in the chat. What's going on there, crap stock? You're making me chuckle. All right, let me look at NVVE because Rex Banner did recommend it. So let's stop, Joe. NVVE. How we doing here on NIVA? We already have it on the side chart, okay? So the deal is we just got back above the volume weighted average price. So we're back in focus here because we were trading below it. In fact, we were kind of using more along the lines of 8 as resistance, kind of maybe a little bit of 8, a little bit of VWAP, which is at 815. But we just popped up into 875. So this is a good look. Now, what I'm going to be waiting for personally anyway before executing on NWVE is a decided close above the volume weighted average price, because we've been lured in to these breakout trades before, only to watch them manifest into bull traps. And I'm not feeling like I want to get caught in a bull trap today. So NVVE, definitely a call out there, an appropriate one, but we're going to keep an eye out on it for a good entry. Now, I'm displeased here with SkyQ because coming back down into 15, but lo and behold, this 15, 415 that is a very, very clear area of previous resistance. Sorry, 410, pardon me. So I'm going to take the opportunity to add again here. Now, I got into 411, and this has been holding the 10 EMA on the 5 since basically all day. So there it is. Oh, just removed instead of added. Just get back in there. It'll change my cost basis a bit, but that's all right. And we'll defend into 4. Now, 4 is a breach of the 10 EMA, but I will give myself room here. And you can see I still have a couple of resting orders to add into 4. So my first area of support, and it's not my area, it's what the chart is showing, is 410. 410 doesn't hold, I defend into 4. 4 is out, I lose on this one. Simple as that. Let's bring in the side charts though, because I got more in the pipeline over here. We already talked about NWVE. It's good look. It just closed there for the first time above the 10 EMA on the 5 since 10:30 this morning. Or sorry, above VWAP, that is. So NVVE on its horse here and could take out 9. But we're also looking at BIYA. Another good looker was negative, it looked like, to start the morning over here because it had closed out yesterday at 41 pennies. And today it's seen about 59. It's straddling VWAP right now with a plethora of topping tail candles. That should give you an indication about what to expect from the price action, especially when it makes local area highs. It is almost very likely to retrace, just given the history of this one. Topping tail candle galore, right? OPTU, not a big 9 1/3, but a good steady state pattern, top middle of your screen. Can. Looking real good. Basically recovering yesterday's sell-off. Sold off into about 26 pennies. Today holds 26.50 at the low with a 31.38 high. Looks like a gnarly looking bull flag, right? With an upward tilt. Higher lows, flat top, possibly through 31. I submit to you between 30.75 and 31 pennies, not dollars, okay? Keep your eye out on that. So that's CAN, OTLK, another one that's steady state, higher lows, higher highs, put in a bull flag pattern. Volume is sporadic on this one. Moreover, it's declining. Look at the bottom right of your screen, lower high, lower high, lower high in the volume bar. But you're not getting lower highs quite yet anyway on the price action. So what you have here is price action volume divergence, something to be alive to. PTEN, this is looking fantastic. I don't know if Joey would call this a buy program or not, but it's very much upward and to the right with 981 high. Knocking on the door of that $10 area, and I would submit to you probably a pickup here is off the green line, the 10 exponential. Some people use the 9, some people use the 8, whatever. Use whatever you want. WULF as well. This one has a headline. Keep your eye on this one as well. A bit more expensive of a small cap gapper, 22 bucks and change. And I'm not very pleased with the lot of higher lows that we're putting in here now. We're holding at VWAP, which is the good news. The bad news is we're unable to put any area highs to breach prior area highs. So that is something to look out for there. As always, if there are any small cap gappers that I failed to mention on this little rundown over here, please tag me. Tag Joe, tag us all, whatever. Just let us know, hey, Sharif, you missed this one, and we'll absolutely have a look at it.
Yeah, you got to let us know, guys. All right, we're short a little bit of IBIT here, nothing crazy, a handful of shares to see if we're going to get a break of this support level. We're down 3%. And, guys, keep it respectful in the chat. I don't know what y'all are on today. You guys are typically good, but, yeah, I mean, everybody's wilding out today. Is that a cardboard straw? Yes, it is, Wendy's Tendies. We are here to save the ocean. But anyways, can you tell me, is the short over for Palantir, please? If I knew, I would obviously go hella long. But when names do get typically overdone, you'll find a bounce in them, right? And I think that's what we've seen. Is it done? We want to ask yourself a couple of questions, I believe, on this one. We'll get into my IBIT short momentarily, but let's pull this up. Let's go to a higher time frame and see what we have, right? So what we do have is consecutive higher lows, and then that trend line is broken. Now, if we go to even a higher time frame, and I'm talking about the daily where I do the most of my TA, and then obviously you have the trickle-down effect where you just break down in increments, whether it be the hour, the 30, the 15, the 5, and then all the way down to the 1. But ask yourself, do you believe that this is any form of strength? Is this a strong pullback in a young girl's heart? So anyways, here it is, right?
And you absorbed it.
Yeah, nah, it's like, all right, we may as well go, what's going on there? But no, in all seriousness, right? Like, do you believe the short is over? I mean, you have a couple of whipsaw moves where you crack the trend line, but then eventually it's breached. Am I going to say this is the bottom and is the short over? But ask yourself, is the risk to reward, even if it still continues to sell, is it there? And I don't know if it is. This name is down 38% off of its all-time highs. Now, I mean, I say this all the time. What goes up quick like this, I don't know quick, so it's over a year, but what goes up to the tune of 814%, you're going to probably see an opposite reaction. Now, is it going to go all the way back to that level? I don't believe so. But what you need to ask yourself is, how long is this downward trajectory going to last? And is the buying pressure that I'm seeing strong enough for me to eliminate the thought of, hey, I don't think there's going to be that much more downside move. I like the buying pressure. And what I'm seeing from a weekly, the volume is pretty low. All right. So for me, if you're going for a longer duration purchase, then there's nothing wrong with it. Sean and I had the conversation is if you're looking to grab, say, X amount, start with 10% here. Put it a little bit lower, 10%. And then if it actually starts to work, then that's when you can add into that position. All right. So to answer the question, is it done? I have no idea. And if I did, I probably wouldn't be sitting in this desk because I would just be full throttle, full port, doing stuff like that, right? Things would be a lot easier, but that's not the case.
That's all right, Joey.
Yeah, man. That's how life works, man.
Straight up. If you don't earn your stripes, then what's really the point of the whole thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Mr. Gray something or another. I'm not going to say that.
I like Mr. Gray.
I like Mr. Gray as well, but his name is a little. It's
different. It's different.
It's different. Of course it is. But we got to tell them about this first, guys. Quick reminder: TradingTV Live members on YouTube get Sharif's daily morning research note every single trading day that I'm here. We're talking about the big market stories, the key levels, the trade plans, Katina, man, as well as the catalyst and what we're watching into the open. It's only $4.99 a month, and you also get members-only videos, posts, custom emojis, and loyalty badges. Hit the join below this video to become a member. Shout out to everybody who's joined, and thank you guys for participating. And guys, not just my morning note, which has a very articulated trading plan. Neil and Sean are posting videos now, very specific videos about trading methodology and trading strategies. You're not going to be able to get those unless you are a premium member, so you got to get that. And thank you very much again for everybody.
Say that last part again.
Premium member?
Yeah. Is that what the morning note comes with? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a. Well, you and I talked about this freemium, right?
Yeah.
You get the free morning note, and then there's a paid morning note.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's a freemium. Shut up, Joey. Why do we got to expose that? All right, let's.
Well, no, I didn't mean to. no, in all seriousness, because I didn't know when you said Sean and Neil, I didn't know what are they doing?
The videos. You didn't see the videos?
Oh, okay, that's part of the thing now.
There's custom videos. There's emoticons. There's a bunch of stuff.
All right.
Oh, all right, guys. NVVE, great call out by you guys on this one. It is ramping into 9.25 with a 944 high. Here we go again. But I want to tell you guys something. Let me tell you something. $10. Could be, oh my days, Joseph options, it just rocketed up.
Why didn't you tell me about that?
I just finished talking about it. From 9.25 into 9.75, and here comes $10. Now, $10 could be a very technical area of resistance. It could put us back possibly into 9, maybe 9.5. Let's load up NVVE over here, which is stealing all the glitz and glamour away from SkyQ, and that's not good for my position in SkyQ, I'll tell you that. So let's load up NQ over here, NVVE. We're looking for this one, SkyQ bleeding its own blood below 4. 995 limit up. 995 limit up here on NVVE. Looking for a buyer in and around the $0.50 in. Where are we in? We're in at 670. Whoa, wow. They're dropping into 9.5, looking for a hold. Let's see if the buyers do step in at 9.5. 9, I'm out. It's simple as that. So we can't give it any more below 9. Let's see if the buyer at 9.5 kind of pushes us at least to attempt at 10 touch. Tempted to touch. Remember that one, Joey? With the woman, man, I need you so much.
Of course.
Remember,
how could
Ricky,
I?
bro?
Yeah, man.
Where's he been, man?
Monarch, bro. What?
Oh my days. NVVE coming into 9.25. What are you looking at, Joey?
Same thing as you, brother. I'm still short IBIT here. Let's see if we get a pullback. We're going to add a little bit of shares. See if price action turns around here. So I'm hyper-focused on the tape and what we have going on.
Like it.
I'm going to wait for this pullback, a retest of the high, and then it can get going. So as soon as some strength steps in, we're going to punch and rock and roll on this one. I seen what you said there, farm trader. I mean, volume 12 million shares. I don't know what the float is on this bad boy, but we'll wait just in case this pullback's a little bit deeper than what we're expecting. But as soon as that tape goes absolutely bonkers and you see a bunch of orders, we might be going, oh no. Okay, good thing we didn't get it in there, but I wasn't clicked on the L2. So let's see if that momentum really starts to uptick, and the volume's obviously going to want to follow. Hopefully, and we just don't want any form of capitulation, right? We don't want it to break down too aggressively. So yeah, we'll keep our eyes on it. 950. I was going to post up at 920s, but I'd rather just follow the price action of something. So yeah, we could take a look to see if NVDA has stated fake news on this stuff. I mean, we've gone through this before, right? So until they physically have the chips themselves, I'm just going to take it for what it is. We've had this back and forth consistently throughout the whole conversation of, okay, it's going there, it's not going there. Okay, they can have it. No, they can't have it. Just a bunch of regulatory BS, in my opinion. So until they physically hold them and they're like, they've received them, I'm going to stick to the narrative that they're not getting them. And I'll look a little bit more into it momentarily. Are you wowing NNVE here, or are you wowing my take there?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, what are you in at? You got 49.
$50, my boy. And here it comes. We're looking for the 10 breach, Joey. But you know what we always say, right?
What do we say?
Like that 990 could be the 10. Right? I mean, it doesn't have to hit 10. It could end. It could go.
There it goes.
And there it goes again, taking out all my orders. We've got to. Well, no, we're a little bit low on shares now, Joey. So we got to be selective as to where we take it out. We got 46s on this one. Here comes the $50 again, and there gets defended the $50 again. It is a 990 high. It is a double top at that 990. So that tells me one thing, is that there is a pretty convicted seller at said 990.
There is.
And he's got some money here, Joey. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to put the kibosh on the price ascension here. So continuing to watch, looking for a 10 breach, right? Yeah, 2/3 of a dollar resistance, currently $50 support. Looking for a decided move up into 3/4. You're not seeing that now. In fact, you're getting that. Pardon me?
I think it's going to break down here.
Yeah, it feels like that 9.5 buyer is a hidden buyer as well, Joe. That's the thing, right? There's nothing posted on the gateway that you can quite see. You're only seeing 1, 2, 3 lots. Here comes a $50 buyer. We'll flatten out here, break even on the remaining amount. Looking for a bounce back up. Anything could get me back in, especially if I see something above 3/4. Here we go. 2/3 again showing up. Nothing doing here though, Joey. It's that $50 to 2/3. That's kind of, we're locked in a little bit there as a range. Let's see how this resolves. And the thing is about this one, Joe, is that it can rocket up 50 pennies quick as you like.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. It's either going to break down here and not hold this previous pivot high, or it's going to break through that $10 marker. Right? So that's why I got my eyes on this stuff here really clearly. Just in case it does want to break down, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some form of wick out. But what we do have is like a 4 or 5 minute consolidation now at this point without us actually breaking down, but the tape not really working in my favor. Okay, there we go. There we go. This is the wave that we are looking for. Now, can that be sustained?
The way of the warrior.
Is the real question that I want to be answered as I continuously. Come on, there it is. There's a wave that we want to see. NVDE.
Wave.
That's my track right now. I'm slowly drifting.
Hey.
So here it is. Let's see if we can drift a little bit higher, Sharif.
Tokyo
there
drift,
it is.
Joey. There it goes. All right,
I mean,
loving it.
I don't know what's going on here, man.
Yeah, it's okay, Joey. Everything's good. There it goes. We're back in, man. We're printing up storms over here. There it goes through 10. Give me my money, man. Are you kidding me? Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, there it goes. All right, very happy with this trade. We got $0.75 of a dollar on.
Another wave.
Resistance. Go ahead, Joe.
No, that's all right. I mean, I don't know. Do you have a better price than I got right now?
I got 9.25.
You got 5 cents better than me. So anyways, we're going to try to rock and roll. There it is. Bang. Okay, now we're partying, Sharif. It's a party. It's a party. It's a party. We take a little bit off right
if
there.
I want to. My bad.
I don't know where the price action is on this chart, so unfortunately I can't show it to you here. I'll put it over on this chart while we do a little transactions. I'll just operate from the level 2. Another strong uptick, and we're ready to rock and roll. I took half off right there, ladies and gentlemen. FYI. And if we get another strong pop, I'll take half of what I had on there.
Seller at 15, Joe.
Seller at 15. I see it on the tape there. He keeps stepping in. Let's decimate him, as Sharif would typically like to say.
They killed him, Joey.
Yeah, they killed him. They haven't killed him yet. He's still fully alive. We broke his shield, though. We broke shield. Shield's broken. You're not a COD gamer. Shield's broken. He's down. His teammate's down.
I can sympathize, though. I mean, I get it.
Moving to the
Get it, Adara. All right.
Was now the time for that?
There it goes. Joseph options
was this
in
the
the 35.
Shield's broken. All right, C4 on him right now. Obviously, I'm being highly sarcastic right there, guys. This is a little bit of COD talk. I was a big COD gamer back in the day, but there it is. We got our loadout now. We took off, only sitting on about 2.5%, as this was a nice little scalp city for us here on the day, brother.
Scalp skitty.
All right.
Oh yeah, my bad, bro.
No, it's all right.
I usually just like I hype you up, right? You're talking, I'm just like hyping you up in the background.
Got the ad libs in the background.
We're having a great time, guys. 10 buyer. So by the same token, there's a 10-15 seller, okay? But there's a 10 buyer here. Now it can zig a penny, 2, 3 below. Whoa! Break even on the remaining amount. But decent trade.
Take it. Yeah, we'll take it.
Decent trade. Very happy. Good winner here for me to start out the day. We are not winning, though, on Sky Crap over here, Sky Q. We are 12 pennies out of the money on here. We are 2 pennies below $4, and I am running out of patience with this one. It's going to have to get above 4 here, and sooner rather than later. So we'll keep a close eye here. I'm not liking what I see, guys. Full disclosure on Sky Q. I don't want to say I'm in trouble, but this is not good, right? If it loses 90, I'm going to have to draw my line in the sand. I was putting 88s out initially as my stop, but I might even move it up, even a little bit tighter. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Shout out to my man Ozan. Give his money. Mr. Gray. Can't say where I work. That's okay. We're not public anyway, but soon all light switches and bulbs in home will be on LF bands. As example, I'll send suppliers for chipsets tomorrow. By pool today, you lucky duck you. If you guys are wondering what I'm talking about there, he was basically telling me something technical about, you know, where technology is going. So I was asking him, like, why should I think that and what should I be investing in? So he's responding to me there. Pug Life, that was a heartbreaker. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Pug Life, you know, you got to roll with the punches though. Christ eternal God.
Pug Life's in the chat?
Hot garbage. Yeah, Pug Life's in the chat.
No
baby.
way.
Yeah, he's doing that thing. By the way, I didn't hear you're back from your friend Jesse Hernandez. Yeah,
I know, man. He's MIA right now. Where's Pug? Bro, Pug Life. Long time no see. Wow, good to have you back, man. Yeah, wow. Hope everything is good. Pug Life, yeah. I know Mike Peter Ryder, yeah. I mean, Blicky was messaging Jesse as well, too, so hope all is well. And no response on that one, but
no. I'm worried a little bit, man.
All right, man. So there it is, guys. We're still short. That was a nice little fun scalp city here on NVVE at the break of the high of the day. Boom, we got that pushed through. And then eventually, after that flush, we get out. And then now we're just sitting in some small shares here on this IBIT trade. Let's see what Juan and Adara have for us.
In 3 minutes, the European market will close for the day. But what should we watch heading into that close? We'll get all the info that we need with Juan over here for the Euro Close segment.
Thank you so much, Adara. So pretty much European markets in the red based off that huge headline from the NATO summit in Turkey from President Trump. Surging energy prices, aggressive selling across European markets, as well as investors retreating to that from risk assets. We take a look down at the indexes right now. Stocks Euro 600, that's down by 1.43%. Down to their 1-week low, you know, systemic tech trimmings as well as high energy inputs, prompting a really broad index de-risking. We also see in Germany, the DAX down by nearly 2%, over 500-point drawdown. They're down below their resistance, the support of 25,000. It was led down by heavy hits to Vonovia, down by more than 3%. Deutsche Bank also got affected by more than 2%, and also SAP, down more than 2% as well. Most of the industrial, travel, as well as banking sectors took a huge hit, especially in Paris. UK, FTSE 100, they were partially cushioned. Basically, Shell and BP bringing it up a little bit. But yeah, major headline, like I mentioned earlier, was Trump declaring that the MOU ceasefire was pretty much over, a waste of time. That followed some retaliatory strikes against Iran over in the Strait of Hormuz. So that sent oil prices skyrocketing. We saw Brent crude going over $5, past the $78 per barrel. WTI was also topped up at $74 a barrel. Energy desk basically reacting to all this diplomatic chaos right now. So this spike poses an immediate threat to the entire Eurozone. We saw, like I mentioned earlier, consumers, banking, and transportation blocks being heavily affected. Air France and Wizz Air, they were dropped by about 5%. Lufthansa also slid by 5.4% after a Citigroup rating downgrade for about a sell. Also, automotive sectors, Mercedes was hit in Germany as well. And all this domino effect, it's definitely affecting that of the yields and central bank ECB prints, because the fixed income desk, they're pretty much repricing that of the central bank's trajectories due to the energy shock. That's also pushed the German 10-year bond yield to about 3.03%. Now, all this global hawkishness, as well as even a rate hike from Reserve New Zealand Bank, not looking good, especially in terms of sentiment ahead of the US Fed minutes in Europe.
Yeah, these sentiments here are not too great, but these segments certainly are. And we'll get another one with one at this desk to tackle the Asian markets at 3:30 p.m. See you there in 4 hours. Thanks again, Juan.
Great information, Juan. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, NVVE broke down pretty aggressively, guys. It is holding 9 right now. 1035 HOD at $9 now. That's a key area of support we're going to look for. Look at this area over here, top of your screen, I mean. We couldn't breach 9, dropped down to 7.5. I mean, we breached 9, but on a wick basis only. And then dropped back down to 7.5. So I'm looking for 9 here as support. I'm not involved, as you can see, on this one, but I'm quite interested in getting in with a possible current candle low, as my out. Current candle low is $9. Prior candle low, $9. Okay, say less. 925 buyer here, 22, looking for a dip, 23, 25. Okay, let's try this one. See if we can get a nice bounce back. Possibly, I defend into 9. That's kind of my move here. Let's see if we can get something on this one. Quick scalp, maybe a little bit more. Let's go ahead and throw in that stop. 880, we'll give it a little bit of room. What do we have on? 31s, show me 34, so nothing really to write home about here. Zigging and zagging. This one, despite all the volume it's done and the speed at which the price action is developing, it's only done 16.2 million shares per day. Or per day right now, sorry. Ooh. So that is the situation. 34, there it is. 39, 42, 44. We're printing, looking for a little bit more. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I'm feeling all sorts of singing today. I don't know why, but
it's the weather.
That's the way it is, man.
It's the weather.
The weather, yeah. It's 5,000% degrees outside, brother. This is your kind of weather.
Oh yeah, I went for a little heel toe express down
How was it?
way. They're great, man. It's always nice. I can't believe how much of a dump Dundas Square is, though, man. They need to clean that.
Sankofa Square. See Brad Bradford. He's challenging Olivia Chow for mayoral race in the fall. He wants to rename Sankofa Square into something different. That he's running on that, despite the fact that he approved it, because he was on city council and it was put to city council, and he gave it the nod. But he's trying to blame the working group for not doing or misleading them on the research or whatever. Anyway,
bro, I think there's much bigger problems going on than having the name of whatever you would like to call that corner.
Agree.
Anyways, yeah, let's head over 197. Listen, I'm just reading a couple articles here on what's going on. I mean, it's once again a rumor with these H200s for NVDA. This doesn't look overly strong, this buying. And with that being said, it's the exact same spiel that I was giving on with Palantir, is that does this buying look strong? And the question to me is no. And that's why I've stated I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more downward price action. And I'm happy to say that I'm sitting on a little bit of cash. I mentioned just a little bit over 10% in my long term, and in the swing, we're going to be sitting on some as well too. So I'll just be grabbing some more, anything south of what we're currently trading at right now. So, and I believe we'll be able to get it in the 80s. Something's going to drop and the street's not going to like it. It's just how it works. But am I hitting the panic button? Absolutely not. And Sean and I were having this conversation this morning as well too. It's just like, here's Broadcom. Who do we want to grab? Like, I understand, hey, Alibaba's down 45% off of its highs, Broadcom being down 28%. Where do we want to put our money? And I think it just has to be somewhere along the lines of Broadcom. And that's just where I stand, right? Like, to each their own. And we'll take a look at how Alibaba's been on the day. A nice gap up and following through with its price action. So things are looking pretty good, right? So it's not a horrible look. They're both extremely strong here today. Broadcom up, where was it? I just had it up on my chart. Now it's gone now. 4%.
4%.
4%. And then Alibaba up, I mean, 8% plus probably at this point. So, I mean, things aren't absolutely treacherous. 11%, damn. So some nice movement there. TKO Holdings up about 0.25% there, Sharif. So we like that. And if we want to head over to the banks, JP Morgan and Company down 1%, and then Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs down 2.4% as well too. So crypto space weak once again. I have no issues with adding a little bit of shares into my position. We are short that right now. It was the break of a support level, but as long as we construct and fail to break this pivot high, then I think that's a green light for me to add. So what we do, we just draw our basic trend line, we reject in this neck of the woods, and then we're adding more to that short. You still planning on making a trip here to AZ? Pug Life, yeah, man, my God. Yeah, I want to go check out. There's a couple of places on my list right now. It's Austin, Myrtle, and then Scottsdale. I want to go check out Scottsdale and Phoenix in Arizona. Maybe go check out the Grand Canyon as well, too. So,
that's a nice trip,
yeah,
bro.
so that's something those are my top 3. Kenneth Zaw says go to Turkey. Why don't you go to Turkey, bro?
Well, go to Turkey. It's a sick country to go to.
It is.
Yeah, you don't have to go for that reason.
But no reason.
I love it. Ozan's from Turkey. We were talking about my trip there. I absolutely loved it, man.
Yeah. Oh, you went there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's sick.
2022. It's fantastic, bro. I went to Istanbul.
Yeah. How was it there? Did you get some kebabs?
Number one, it's very cheap, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
An Uber ride that took me an hour and a half was $25 US. This is back in 22. So
how long was that Uber ride?
An hour and a half, I just said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't really.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So the Uber ride was quite light. And everything that is kind of domestic is super cheap. If you want to get anything imported, like if you're going to buy shoes, Nike shoes, you're going to pay full price. Probably a little bit more.
But everything else that's
is fantastic.
And it's a nice country. Very beautiful country. Beautiful country, too.
Great country.
Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, the Library of Alexandria. I want to check that out for sure as well, too.
My city where I was born.
Alexandria, that's sick, man.
That's where I was born.
Yeah, I'm a big hit. That's why I've always loved Egypt, man, and the pharaohs like King Tut.
Yeah, they do their thing.
I remember as a kid, I would always go to the ramen, and the first thing was like beeline to the mummy.
See, that's funny because like I didn't do that. I would beeline it to the
dinosaurs.
Yes,
yeah, man, I'm
right away.
The dinosaurs.
Let's get to this super chat. $5 super chat. No teeth, please. 60. 69.
That's crazy.
What is happening? Love it. What are your thoughts on bull? I'm not a fan. As a buy for the long-term account, also thank you guys for always bringing such great energy every day. Thank you for the super chat. Very kind of you.
Yeah.
I hope my analysis here doesn't put a damper.
I'm gonna add sorry to interrupt you.
Of course.
I'm gonna add a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit here on this.
On your IBIT, eh?
On this IBIT. Nothing crazy. We just double it up there.
All right. Well, let's look at bull. Of course, we're talking about Webull, right? Which I think, when did it IPO? Back in 22? 22, really? Hold on, for real? Oh, it's de-SPACed. It was a SPAC. Yeah. Okay, so de-SPACed, I think, in April of 25. Okay, because it was SPAC before that. It was hugging 10. You can tell. That's typically your tell there that it had de-SPACed when its price action is so closely tied to 10 for so long. And then moved up to $80, and now it's at 703. That's current price action. I don't like it. I don't think the chart really gives you anything to be positive about. You're getting a series of lower highs and lower lows. You're below key moving averages, whether you're looking at the simple or exponential. That purple line is the 200 simple. That blue line is the 200 exponential. And right now, they're both overlapping at $8. But aside from that $8 possible resistance, you're also seeing a lot of resistance locally anyway, since let's say mid to late April at 750. No closing prints above $7.50, none at all, right? And then above that, you're also looking at 780. Look at this area here of support, multiple areas of support right around 775, 780. So you've got multiple resistance levels that you've got to get through. I'm not saying you can't get through them, but it is something to be alive to. Now, you are trading above the 50 moving average, which is the red one, red line. But to me, you've got to get above 8 and stay above 8 to really say, okay, you know, maybe we can make a move back to 15. Maybe we can make a move back to 17.5 here on Webull. But, you know, this one never really caught love like Robinhood
No,
did,
it never did,
like
man.
SoFi did. I know it's a little different,
Yeah.
right? But, you know, you figure there would have been some sympathy. Maybe there was initially, but no continuation.
Yeah, no, that's something that's definitely taken a little bit longer. So Joe, Grand Canyon South Rim is the way to go, says Mopar. Yeah, thank you for that super chat, man. I want to go check it out, man. And
Sick, bro.
all that stuff that I want to go and see, and hopefully by next year. But there's some things that we need to take care of first on our home front before we do all that big time traveling and stuff, right? So, anyways, yeah. But again, you live one life, so you gotta enjoy it as well too.
That's what I said to myself, bro. I was like sitting there saving for like almost a year. I'm like, let me just
go have it. Go get it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Go get the urges out and just the want to see what's around you and enjoy stuff, and then just lock right back in. Just like we're gonna lock right back in here on this IBIT short, looking for the breakdown. As soon as this level is broken, the volume weighted average price, we're at a dodge. Lele, what's up, girl? You're by, brother. You're the son of Cleopatra. Can you look at Skin? It has news and a lot of buying.
I love her, Leo. Shout out to Lele, man. All right. Shout out to Leandra. Let's look at SKIN. Because remember, we were trading this one yesterday, right? So this one is a holdover. SKIN, is it still there? Okay, so got to the 200, Lele. Right? But it's done this kind of dance before, and that's what concerns me. Look at all these 200 touches over here, ends up dropping. 60 pennies, good support, breaches above the dollar. Funny thing about today's price action on Skin, Lele, is that we actually breached yesterday's high, despite the fact that we are negative right now. Underline that right now, right? Because we opened up at $1.10, we're trading at 106, 105. The low of the day is 102.5. The high is 121. The high yesterday was 118. So by definition, we've already breached yesterday's high. But you know what I'm going to say? Look, we're kind of tied up there between the 200 exponential and the 200 simple. The good news is we were rejecting the 50 exponential. Look how many times this one popped into the red line. As soon as it got there, it fell back down. Now that all changed, especially the day, not the day before yesterday, but yesterday, clearing that 50 quite decisively. Now, if you do get above and stay above the dollar, I think you're definitely going to need to get through that 160 to 175. That's a long shelf. It's a long area of resistance there, especially from the breakdown right around October of last year to the fail of the $1 level in February of this year. So I'd like to see a move, not only just above the 200s, but above 160 to 175. I like this one. What was her comment? It has news and a lot of buying. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Look at that volume bar on the bottom right, Lele. I mean, it just overshadows all the other volume bars combined. Yesterday, it did a combined 85 million in volume. Today, not so much, 1.365. So I don't think Skin is bad. I don't know anything about the company personally, other than to say Skin Health Systems, $136 million market cap. What else? They are a beauty health company, a global medical aesthetics company anchored by a hydrofacial professional skincare treatment and supported by complementary offerings, including skin stylist, microneedling, and hydroscalp with Curavive. Sounds very interesting over here. The float on this one, I'll just give you that super quick. The float on this one, 112 million shares. So quite large for, you know, a small cap gapper like this. I don't necessarily hate it. Look for that breach of the 120 and a move into 160. That's what I would say, Lele. I hope you print. While we pause for a second, Sia is going to tell you about this.
Amazon a little bit to the downside. AMZN reports coming in that Amazon is working on an Alexa AI project that's codenamed Moonraker to handle multi-step requests like booking a ride and texting a friend. So internal documents are projecting more than $100 million plus in GPU costs in this year. That is the 2026, making it Alexa Plus's highest cost new initiative. This is coming in from multiple reports and Business Insider. Just repeating, Amazon a little bit to the downside, down almost 2% on the day, working on Alexa AI project named Moonraker.
Thank you very much for that, Sia. And welcome to Shrimp McLaughlin 9681. Thank you for signing up for the YouTube Premium membership. Shout out to Pug Life 77. Thank you for signing up as well. Shout out to my man
let's go.
Pug Life. He's in the house, Joey.
I know,
Now he's a
man.
premium YouTube.
It's been a
member.
while. I've always like, man, where's Pug Life, man?
He's here, baby.
And he's back. So I'm
Bizak.
glad to
All right, man.
have
I'm
you
not
here.
liking anything here, but NVVE is starting to give me, feels like it could be headed back up here, Joey. We're going to get involved and we're going to defend into the volume weighted average price. So here we go. We got 29s on, showing 32. Let's see how we do here.
All right, man, good stuff. So this short really starting to pan out for us right now. As we did add, we rejected that trend line to a T. So that's some textbook stuff right there. And that's what we're looking for. So hopefully we get some continuation to the downside. I mean, from an intraday standpoint, we obviously want it to bleed from a long term.
Your own blood?
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, it's bled a lot of people's blood, including Mr. Michael Saylor, who had to offload some to pay some dividends. So let's see. Welcome.
Did you see? Because you're about that as well. I'm sorry to interrupt you because you're about this Kalshi whole thing.
Yeah.
Did you see the odds of Saylor adding Bitcoin by like mid-July or something like this, where it was over 50%?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Were you the
would
one that pulled that up?
No, well, I didn't see that one in particular, but that's
Yeah.
his things, man. That's his thing. Sell the preferred. The preferred hits a certain level. Sell or sell that, buy Bitcoin.
Just saying.
It's literal. It's what he's been doing for quite some time.
Because it's I don't want to say the price of Bitcoin is anchored to everything he does and says, but it is heavily influenced. You know, when he buys, there seems to be a nice little move up. When he sells, is obviously.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I mean, he sold 34, and like that one time when he's like, I mean, that's just to fuel the yacht or just buy some new corporate stuff or something along those lines. Nothing substantial. But then when he had to sell it, I mean, to pay the dividend, whatever he had going on there.
Divvy.
Listen, he holds a pretty good amount from a percentage standpoint at 800,000 BTC. You would think, Sharif, he's like, if you go back and you look at his dot plot, of when he's buying it. Okay. I don't know how much strategy is behind it, to be honest with you. So you just go every so often, and I believe it was July of last year was the last biggest purchase. Don't quote me on it. Anyways, aside from that, it was before it peaked, but he's still been buying it, and you still don't see those massive rebounds. So what I think is going on is behind the scenes is you have these whales, these Bitcoin whales, the early investors of when the white paper came out, and they had the ability to grab all of this stuff. Now, flowing this over to some of these institutions, it's just been sell-off. So I don't know how much now. He wants to control the demand of it, I believe, at some point, just by having it. And with that being said, he'll have control of the price. Yep. But I don't think that's necessarily 100% of the case, right, as we see.
I just kind of meant sentiment.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying. I don't think he controls the price and this sort of strategy. And that's not what I mean. I just feel like he does dictate the sentiment at any one period.
Yeah. It's a big part of it.
It's a big part of it. There goes NVVE back into 9 2/3. We've got 929, 65 showing up. We already got the print there, I believe, at 69, right? Because it did pop up into 70. So we did get the 69 print there. So shout out to my man Ozan. But we're not out of the water, man, because we need this one to decisively clear 10. And that's eluded us. It's been eluding us because 1035 is the high. We spent almost no time down there. Now they're selling in the low to mid 60s when they were selling in the high 60s before. So watch for a stair step down. I'm interested in this one. I'm interested in it for taking out $10. And I put a good position on here in the latest entry. Full disclosure, we gave back some right here when we got in, and then we got stopped out through 880, right? So we did give back some after our initial positive trade. trying to get back what I lost on the second trade on this one, but not immediately apparent, Joey, whether this is going to head to 10 and in a straight line. The short's keeping this one down, at least for the moment. So TT Mass did point out this one, so I want to shout out my man TT. TT 395. Looking really bull flaggish here, TT Mass. This looks really good. Good call out on your part. This is TVRD. Let me just throw in the ticker there. TV. What's so funny, Joey?
Ben Affleck, the one.
Ben Affleck, yeah, I know. He's crapping on Bitcoin. I saw he's like Bitcoin to 30K. Well, he's not wrong. You and I have said 38, 39K, so I don't disagree with Ben Affleck. Maybe a little bit higher than 30K. But TVRD, guys, bull flag, breakout. I'd submit to you there was a 350 seller. We couldn't shake the 350 seller. Then they killed him. They killed him on about 328,000 shares of volume at 1125 candle, and now we got a 395 high. I don't know what we've done in terms of total volume on the day. 6.81 million shares with the average volume of 1.32, so not a bad look. This one's earned its way onto the side chart. We're going to definitely keep an eye here. Oh, no. NVVE dropping back down into 20s, and here is 9. So we're going to keep a close eye on this one. Possible add opportunity here for a move back up. 9.5 fail as it stands, though, Joey. We're out of the money by 9 pennies. What do you got?
Yeah, all right, good stuff, man. Yeah, that thing's. I was looking at it too for a little bit of a continuation. Here goes Bitcoin starting to find a little bit situation. Will arrive. Here is 3.4%. That was a classic, man, back in the day.
A lot of classics, man.
Taylor Swift told you and invest your money only sells rock she finds on the street.
Yo, did you hear about that wedding? That wedding was supposedly ridiculous, eh?
Well, I mean, obviously, if someone is worth
apparently, they were making a big deal about who dressed her.
Yeah.
Like apparently, like Chanel got beat out by somebody.
Oh yeah.
It was
apparently they make a big money off that.
Exactly.
Let me say this to you.
Go ahead, Joey.
If I was worth what Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were, the last place that I'm getting married is in Madison Square Garden. It's like the last place, like downtown New York. But anyways, it's each their own, right? Started recently, started good, but now account draining down 3K this week. Any tips? I try to follow y'all, but seem to pick wrong / late every time. NVV, there you go. Started recently, started good. Congratulations. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but you don't copy trade, all right? That's not the objective of what you have to learn. That's what we're trying to do, is just so you do your own thing, all right? You can't because there's a delay. It just doesn't work. Copy trading, there is no long-term success to that. Now, it's unfortunate that you're down that much. It sucks. Hopefully you get it back. But I'm also not going to baby you into the point, oh, I'm sorry. No, what you got to do is here, focus, make sure your risk measures are in check, make sure that you're looking for high quality setups, and then sure enough, you'll be on your very own merry way. But the importance is just being able to be independent and do things. There is no success to copy or mirror trading at anybody else. We can give you the idea, but you have to come up with your own entry and exit strategies, all right? So hopefully you can recover, and I'm sure you will at some point, but it's going to take a little bit longer. If you're new, be prepared for a little bit of a roller coaster of a ride. I don't know how you feel about that, Sharif.
Yeah, I quite agree with everything you just said there, man. NVVE is trouble. We're break even on this one. Seller at 10 here. I'm going to get out here, break even on the remaining amount, because yeah, I'm not liking this one here at the DCA just to get break even on this one. So that's not the move. But there is another one that's moving here. BIYA just got into the high of the day. This one got into stay until possibly, if we close above it now, this candle's got 2 more minutes. We have been above 55 on this 1035 candle, but it failed. It failed pretty miserably. Oh boy, 61 pennies now. BIYA really breaking out. Keep your eye out on this one. Let's load up BIYA. Oh, SkyQ's starting to curl here. We might have another one to trade, but we're gonna look at BIYA for now. BIYA, what do we got? Oh, coming back down into 59, okay. Let's see if it's able to weasel back above 60. I'm going to keep a close eye on this one. I like the look of this one's jib. Shout out to my man, Ivan. Joe.
Yo.
Does it work? Does it work? Short, Sharif, long, exit, profit. I have no idea what he's talking about there, but cool.
No, I'm saying it does work. Short at Sharif, long. that doesn't work either, man. Trust me.
What does that mean?
He's going counter. He's saying that I think he's going
counter trade
counter.
me?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Good luck, man.
Good luck, brother.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Trust me.
61 pennies here on BIYA. Looking for a breach of 61 and a continuation possibly into 66 to 69. We're looking for 2/3 here. This one's volume's really picking up. We're almost about 51 million shares, give or take. Watch out for this one, but I'm also looking at SkyQ starting to curl here.
All right. So, FJ, that's a great question. I was just going to type it in the chat. Now, you got to understand, on a short day, now, what do you mean? Like, because looking back at data makes things a lot easier, right? Hindsight being 20/20. Now, if you're referring to my Tesla longs, if I knew it was going to be a short, then I would be shorting it. But I thought that we'd get somewhat of a bounce. And why? If you actually look at the NASDAQ during this time frame, and I'm talking about from 932 to 949, it's moving up, right? So with that being said, I thought we would be able to take advantage of a laggard play. Now, if it was down and if it was that simple, obviously we would be going to the short side and not fighting the trend. At times we do. But at the end of the day, I was correlating what I was seeing in the NASDAQ and the SPY as we were climbing right out of the gates here today. So you can see that between that time frame that we were moving higher, and I thought that Tesla was going to participate. So that was my reasoning behind that. But now you can see that I'm short Bitcoin, and I mean the market is overall down with SpaceX running into $147. We were talking about that $145 support level this morning, but Bitcoin isn't selling off that aggressively, right? So it might be a little bit more of a grind, and I believe I added at the right places. So let's see if this one's going to work out for us. Now let's head over. There might be some positive gamma. Ozan, I completely agree with you on that $200 marker, right? And what does he mean? Like Ozan and we're looking at the exact same thing, and the way it's described might be slightly different. All right, so he's talking about the positive gamma. And that's what I'm referring to, are the negative gamma over here at that $200 marker. Well, what is that correlated with? Why is he stating all of this gamma exposure? Well, look at it here, right? This is your gamma, but it's correlating with the open interest that is still left at that strike price, okay? So this has the most amount of size right here at that $200 level. Now, moving forward, what I actually wanted to take a look at is where is this bottom going to be here on SpaceX? I told you I have a bid at 125. Are we going to head there? I don't know, but what is 135 telling us? 6,000 contracts here. But where max pain actually might be on this week's expiration cycle is at $140. Oh. Why am I saying that?
Why?
Well, look at the amount of open interest at this level. Okay? So we can potentially look at this as a put wall where the stock and the underlying asset can find a bounce. But if this is absorbed and we continue to move south, all the writers on the opposite side of this trade are going to be looking to purchase or sell their stock essentially in order to cover for the puts, all right, which could add some more downwards momentum. So let's see if 140 holds up. I know we were talking about 145. We held up at right around 147, found a bounce there, which I mean isn't horrible, but the way that it's looking, I just have a slight hunch that we might head a little bit lower, bull flag forming here on AAPL.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel that. It's starting to go flat-ish, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it's the day for the mag today, man.
No, that's why I...
even SpaceX is negative now, right? It was started positive. Have you added to that at all?
I told you I bought 170, 170, 160. I removed 150, put it down to 125.
Right. Did you see some of the price targets from some of these banks?
Yeah, 800.
900 now, man. I think Citi threw 900. Somebody threw 900 yesterday. Sorry, Adara?
I want to clarify, the 900 is their longer-term target. Their shorter-term target is in that 200 to 300.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, I'll take $200 any day of the week, man.
Yeah, who wouldn't, bro? I mean, like, it's quite bullish, right? That is a long-term target, though, so not a bad look. All right, here we go. BIYA into 62 now. 62.69, apparently, Joe, is the high of the day. We're wetting the beak here. Here comes 63. There is 63. We've got 59s on now. We're looking for more. I'm looking for 66-ish. Not random. I'm looking for 2/3, okay? So let's see what we get. And there it goes again into another area high, 63.54. Got shares on this one. Looking for a bigger move into 64. Let's go ahead and post here at 64 as a liquidity tester. I'm also going to post at 65 just to see what kind of selling we get at around that area. Holding up here at 61 and change. Let's see if we fail, right? I don't know, Joey. I don't know. Let's see if we get, yeah, we're back above 61 here. Let's see if we can get back above 62. Need this. It's turning into a doji candle, this current one here on BIYA on the 5-minute chart with equidistant upper and lower wicks. That's not why I'm in this for. Wow, TRVD is ripping. Crap. TVRD just ripped up. Shout out to TT Mass, man. You called that, TT Mass. Timothy's calling it out. Grunfeld is calling it out. Here I am trying to schlep into this stupid trade when TVRD is giving me dollars at a time. This one's giving me pennies. All right, I have to let this trade resolve, obviously.
Is Ram here today?
Yeah, she is. Why?
I gotta ask her a question.
Oh.
Do me a favor.
Have you noticed that the water is running low in the cooler there? You haven't noticed? They started putting water in the fridge because
I seen that. I'm like, who's stockpiling that?
Well, I
Smart.
figured
Yeah.
it was probably one of our.
I thought it was Sia.
Yeah, well, who knows, right? But the point is, the construction people are drinking our water.
Are they?
And I'm not happy about it.
Oh man. Is it going to be the midday versus the construction?
I don't know, but they're drinking our water, Joey.
That's
like I
crazy.
keep going over there to get some water and it's empty. You know what I mean? Like I'm
snap.
not going to accept that kind
Madness.
of stuff, man. Bring your own water.
It's crazy.
We're having a good time, guys. All right, let's head it up to Sia. She's got happening now. Then Neil's got it. Lesson of the day.
Let's take a look at the major averages. The SPY currently down very close to 1%. The triple Q is down very close to 1%. The Dow is down 1.5%, with the IWM down sliding closer to 2%. So all the major averages, safe to say, are in the red today. We're going to just take a look at what's happening here. So U.S. President Donald Trump, as we saw it today, has threatened to bomb Iran again after the United States has conducted a series of powerful strikes, quote unquote, powerful strikes against the country yesterday. U.S. President Donald Trump also said during a meeting with the Ukrainian President Zelensky at the NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey, that we hit them very hard last night. We'll probably hit them hard again tonight. I'll give them a little warning. We're going to hit them hard tonight. Earlier today, we also saw Trump remark in a joint news conference with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte that he thinks the ceasefire between the two sides is, quote unquote, over. He's also said that I don't want to deal with them anymore. As far as I'm concerned, it's over, he has said. And with that, oil is soaring today, and that sector, energy, proving to be one of the strongest sectors performing, not one of the strongest sector that's performing on the S&P 500 today. Sending it to Neil for his lesson of the day.
Thank you, Sia. Before we get to the lesson of the day, you guys all know Sharif was just playing around. Like what is going on in the chat? Obviously, like, come on, like the Renault's going on the other side here in the back office. They're working. You walk up to they've kind of cordoned off the area where they're doing all the renovation. You just go next to, just next to where they have the opening, and you can feel like the 10-degree heat jump. It must be over 30. Like 35 in there, so that's why we're just sort of joking around about it. Of course, man, they gotta stay hydrated, good peeps, for sure. And we sometimes we'll have like Russell and the boys walk past, we'll say what's up, we might mention them on the show. But yeah, you gotta stay hydrated, son. No, one of the things that I actually heard just now, maybe 20-30 minutes ago, you guys were talking about. I didn't hear the context of copy trading and why that's something that doesn't really work out. But I want to get into like the reasons why. Like execution is everything when it comes to trading. I talk about this all the time, like where you get in, where you get out, risk to reward, the precision of all of those entries. And it's not just about I like a stock long, therefore if it goes up, it's a win, and if it goes down, it's a loss. Trading isn't really that simple, and that's why simply saying, oh, I think this stock is going up or down isn't going to be the be all end all. And if you just try to copy trade, you can get yourself into some trouble. I'll give you a couple of examples to the best of my abilities using stuff that we're looking at today. If you were looking at Battle Long, would you think that this was a good up stock today? I don't think there's anybody that's going to tell you this stock was a long. If you were up because you had a long in battle, it's because you were looking for something very specific. Like, I wish I could tell you that I liked this trend break on battle in the pre-market. There's a double, triple bottom. It's a heck of a lot better than the entry I took. And then you could have had maybe this long at 215, and there's your stop. You're risking 10 cents. Bingo, bango, bongo. It goes up 25 pennies. That's, even if you get half that move, that's better than a 1-to-1. Like, there's a good trade setup, which requires you to be in here and getting out somewhere in there. Myself, I was looking for it to kind of hold on to this level, make this bottom wick break, hold some through VWAP. But here's where copy trading runs you afoul. Like, you would have heard me say, I want to take profit into the prior low in VWAP, but I'm looking to hold the last for the dream of the highs, like the breakout of that top. But what happens once I see its reject the volume weighted average price? That changes the nature of the trade for me. Because we got to VWAP, and remember what was happening in USO. USO was continuing to go higher, and this would not break the volume weighted average price. So I made a judgment call for myself that the last bit, instead of risking to the low or reloading the trade, I altered the plan and put a break-even stop on it so that I could be slightly up instead of down on battle, despite the fact that USO was still trending higher, so I could have just held that one to the low all the way back in and maybe got rinsed on some slippage. So if you were just listening to what I was saying earlier and copy trading, you probably lose more on the back end of the last piece of that trade. Because I looked at what was happening at USO and what was not happening in battle and needed to make a pivot. Well, see, that's sort of the thing about copy trading. The why matters. Like, if the part of it that you missed is, you just like the long in the stock, but we're going to closely follow USO, and you've got to be able to make a judgment call like that every now and then. Sometimes you don't care. You don't have a leading indicator, but come on. If I'm trading some small cap energy name in sympathy to oil futures, and we're just grinding higher on USO, and my stock isn't doing what I'm doing, well, I'm going to listen to that to a certain extent. And you've got to be able to do this. And then another thing, just to give you one more example before, what's the headline? So the president's holding a press conference. We'll probably end up going back to Adara to see what he says. There was a question about why I liked SMCI short after that NVIDIA news. And again, it comes down to a similar thing. I was already in the short for other reasons. I talked about the double closes. It rejected that level. Looks great on a 15-minute, then the lower high. So I'm looking to short to close in the gap. Well, when the NVIDIA news hit, you could see that as potentially good for SMCI. Like, there's the spike of NVIDIA. But remember what I said. You have to be able to reassess, okay, does this scare us that move up? This is 1051. And I said, if we don't press through 200 and don't make a fresh high, then I think we're still okay. So at 1051, like we are pressing higher into VWAP. NVIDIA doesn't make a fresh high. We end up just continuing back on the short. So it was a higher time frame short that ended up continuing for me. But I did make a pivot. If NVIDIA had broken out 200, I don't just sit here holding for it to continue to go down the lows and close our gap. I would have just punched out of it. So one of the things that you've got to understand about trading is, yes, you can have your original thesis, you can explain everything, but sometimes there are going to be situations, events, maybe a trend line, maybe a leading indicator, a news story that hits that causes you to reassess your risk. And in the case of battle, it would have saved me money. But if you're just sitting there, because someone wrote down they like this level, it bounced off the level and they go long, this is the target, you might end up holding that one against you forever. Everyone's going to have different risk parameters or reasons for being in a trade. I was following USO, so that ends up being important. Ended up saving some money today. It didn't end up mattering on SMCI. That just continued to go down and ended up working, but I can show you both ends of it. And just one last point, if you're copy trading, let's say you you could have been in battle long, for that same breakout, and wanting only a break of the high. You only want a parabolic move. You could be thinking, I'm long here, give it to that, and I'm looking for only a break of 250. So you're like home run or nothing as a concept. Everybody is going to have a different risk tolerance or a different trading plan, even around I like the stock long. So you have to understand your own why. And if you're looking at trying to understand someone else's strategy or learn something from it, always pay attention to why they like the entry at that level, what it means to be wrong for them, what could possibly change their sentiment on it. Are they using a leading indicator? Is there an ETF that they're following along? Is there a trend line or a moving average? Just so you can get a sense of what the overall strategy is so you can try to learn from it. Not just there is a green mark, that's where you should buy. This is where the stop is, and I just leave it in because that's going to be good. That's not really how trading ever works out for anybody. It's a little bit more fluid than that. So I think asking questions is great. I think that the chat is fantastic. I saw a great point. Shreve's trading the small cap gappers. Someone's like, well, if I'm looking to go short, the reasons for why he gets out of a long could be a reason to jump short. Like, he'll take the break, there it goes. Sometimes that could be a little bit of a turn. I don't know, but that's not a bad idea to just say, hey, well, you had that nice long in there, Shreve. What made you get out of all of it? Because I was looking for a short entry. Those are all great questions. The why matters. So I love the conversation in the chat. I always want to make sure that everyone here is, just trying to get better and trying to learn. But you have to keep in mind, somebody saying, I just think the stock is a long today, is not a reason to buy, or a single price. Someone says, yeah, this is a long from this price. Things can change. Understand what their targets are. Understand where the risk tolerance might be, and then figure out your own plan. It's okay to learn from somebody else. That's what it's all about in trading. Learn from other people's mistakes. Heck of a lot cheaper. But you've got to understand you are trying to apply something to your own strategy and grow, not just copy. So good luck, everybody. The market's on a really nice bounce here. I absolutely love it. We're getting back into VWAP. Oil futures are starting to come down as the president is, I don't know, giving us a bounce. Seems like it's always a matter of time before he does.
Guys, VinFast continues to expand beyond vehicle sales. This week, VinFast India partnered with Shriram Finance to support EV financing access, while Green SM launched all-electric ride-hailing in Kazakhstan with VinFast VF6 vehicles. Good luck. Together, these moves highlight VinFast's broader mobility ecosystem strategy. You can find them on the NASDAQ under the ticker VFS. Shout out to VinFast. There goes TVRD into that $0.50 area, but there's no continuation, Joey. We got 25s. We're looking for 5. So the high of the day is 55, but before we start, looking at $5 as a possible resistance area, we got to get through that $0.50. We got to get through that $0.50 quite decisively, and we're already having trouble here with the third of a dollar, let alone the half. So we got to keep a close eye out on this one and see what we can get there. I also had a decent trade here on SkyQ for the bounce back up, got stopped out in the last remaining amount, but it did make an attempt here at the high of the day. Failed it by just, a couple of shekels. Now, I got to keep my eye here on TVRD, Joey, because it's coming back down into my $0.25 entry, and more displeased I could not be. So I'm out. I'm going to lose this one. Here it comes, 22s. I'm out of this one. What's the support on this? I see support, guys, between 4 to 410. That could be a reload area. The 10 EMA is actually in between 4 and... No, it's looking more like 410, 409. So we'll see what we can get on this one. If it holds the $0.25, I'll get back in for that move up. Otherwise, I'm looking for that 4 to 410 area. And while I want to tell you about this one as well, guys, CAN. And sorry to the individual in the chat because I didn't put the $sign on there. So he thought maybe I was just talking about something random. But CAN, what a flat top break. Look at this flat top break, Joey. 31 pennies rips up into 34.5, showing 33.12 right now. So not a bad look, not a bad look. So that's what we're going to keep a close eye on here, guys. We're going to keep a close eye, Assassino, on NWVE, BIYA, SKYQ, and last but not least, TVRD. And we're going to send you to Adair with news.
Yeah, comments here coming from President Trump. I believe I just heard him mention Lockheed Martin here in terms of, I guess, some contracts or deals there. No move on LMT. It could have also heard it wrong. Just be aware, guys. Potentially keep an eye here on LMT. He's also still talking here currently. Again, this is his press conference at the end of the NATO summit. He talked a little bit while earlier about oil saying, quote, we'll see whether we keep the oil down, but we should keep the oil down. As we know, oil actually pretty strong today. But if I get any other comments of note, I will keep you posted. He's making some comments. He's talking right now again about military budget, etc. So military spending and USO in focus. Back to you.
Guys, I want to bring your attention to the Brent crude chart here because this is important. I was reading a really interesting article in the morning. The thesis of the article is that this move up right now on Brent is short coverings, with the majority, if not the great majority, of the short positions positioned around $80. I don't know if you guys can see the price levels on the right on this chart all that well, but we are dancing around this $80 area pretty aggressively, and this is the area high. I think the high of the day is 80.60. We're below 80 again, 79.66, but keep your eye on this $80 area, and especially a bigger move up above $80 could trigger a lot of short covering. So you could have a big move up on oil, not because of the geopolitical headlines that are, obviously bearish for the market, bullish for oil, but because of the short coverings. Now, you're getting that short defend right now, as I've been making the point, basically since the morning, that $80 area is going to be critical. Right now, we're not clearing all the shorts at that $80 area, but it should be interesting to see whether or not that ends up happening by the end of the day, Joe.
All right, man, good stuff. Yeah, Neil, I like that one. That was a nice trend break on that one on Alibaba. Yeah, and I see this bull flag that we got forming here, eccentric passions. I mean, yeah, this is a nice little move. We're already up 11% on this bad boy here today. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a nice little uptick north of some of these zones. So that's a pretty good one. Here's the trend line break that Neil was referring to. It's pretty textbook if you ask me. So yeah, that's a nice move, consistent lower highs right there, and then eventually it breaks. You have a 5-minute candle sitting on the backside of it, and then you get a couple strong 5-minute prints after that. Now, Alibaba, we've gone over that one. There's a name that was on my mind that I wanted to bring up, but now it's slipped it. So what we will do as default, we'll head over to Walmart here, Sharif.
Okay.
And I listen. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, we are, like, you know how many times I've been wrong? But there's just a couple of things correlating for me to say, hey, maybe Walmart's a little bit overdone to the downside. It's this simple, right? Like, I'm not going to call it rocket science or anything along those lines. It's just that indecision print with an outstanding volume print after a big gap down. I just like putting our chances where, hey, we might find a bounce off of that level, and sure enough, where we closed on this day specifically on last Wednesday was 108. Now we're trading at 113. Now it seems relatively weak, not too much buying pressure all the way up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more, ladies and gentlemen, to this IBIT trade right at VWAP. Now I am fighting a trend as well. So again, just considering I started so small, I'm okay with adding some more at VWAP. We did reject, but there's a trend line here. And Ben Affleck in the chat was telling me, hey man, watch out, Donald Trump now speaking, getting prepared to destroy all your puts. So, I mean, it could potentially have it. But I don't have very many shares on right here, guys. And if it decides that it wants to go parabolic and that's all the selling for the rest of the day, then so be it. Lost Players, bro, you see the head inverse on BTC tomorrow?
Man,
it could
show them that one I
fly.
showed you on Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix is ugly, man.
Hold on, can I show
Don't
this
let Joey go over Netflix. Too yikes. Why we started talking about Netflix all of a sudden?
I don't know, but they need to know about this head and shoulders that's forming on the weekly here.
Let's see. Yeah.
Now this is what I sent you yesterday, man. I sent it to you because like it just, I was salivating looking at it, but I've never been short anything
in your long tee
or
in the swing. Yeah.
Like I just haven't done it, right? Look at this, guys. This is the weekly on the flakes.
On the flakes, man.
Yeah, this is post split, right? Got a weird looking left shoulder. Maybe he only works out as the right side. But then you got the right shoulder there with a bulbous big ass head, right?
God.
Through that 133 area, and now you're talking neckline here, man, around $70, $75. Not saying that this is going to manifest.
Considering we're talking about head and shoulders, Los Pollos is stating that Bitcoin has an inverse. Let's pull this up and see.
Inverse head and shoulders?
Yeah, let's see.
On the weekly?
I think the daily.
This looks like a head and shoulders to me.
Yeah, man, that's pure head and shoulders.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Even
it's
go
ugly
over to NVDA now. If we're going head and shoulders, we may as well just go through the ringer and see what we see.
I don't see head and shoulders here.
Are you at the very end of things?
This is the weekly.
Go to the
daily.
Yeah, you're on the daily, right?
I'm on the weekly right now.
Okay, go to the daily and see what we got going on.
Yeah, but then we can't view it in isolation. We have to view this area here as an obvious area of support, bro. And it's been still holding up. Like this top end of the range, I'm drawing right from right there. Right.
So go to the end of that consolidation.
This area.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't see shoulder one, head, shoulder
I do,
two?
but I see a lot of zig and zag.
Yeah.
And this is important though, man. This
It's
area
very much
here
so
is
important. I agree.
Anyway, let's
I
go to
agree.
Sia. She's got news. Oh, my bad.
Thank you so much. The IWM currently down on the day 1.7%. Let's take a look at two individual tickers that I have picked for you today. VTAK up almost 96.5% on the day. Catheter Precision, which is a US-based medical device company that's focused on developing technology advanced products for cardiac electrophysiology market, has announced that it has reviewed a notification and received one that was yesterday, 2 patents covering separate technologies that is owned by the company. So the stock is reacting up 96.5% on that. IOTR is up 35% on the day. That's IO3 Limited, which has announced a successful first year earnings as the revenue has risen and the CEO of the company is seeing a strong demand that will continue throughout upcoming. That's all.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, guys. So there it is, right? Like we're just sitting here waiting for this curl over to happen. I don't know if it's going to. It may be the end of the downtrend. It may take some time for things to roll over, but we'll just sit on here again. I don't have any issues holding it. At some point, I have to get out of the position and just bail on it. So if it's not going to work, that's not necessarily what we want to see. Head over to small cap land or something along those lines. Joe, this is where you find the big moves, entry points. Yeah, I mean, the market's full on recovery mode. You know what? I'm thinking 35.10s, we just bail on this. I'm okay with that, right? This is a paper cut. We made way more on that small cap trade than what we're going to lose here. Not even a third of it anyway. So let's head over to some of the large cap names. Whole lot of red here today, guys. So yeah, 35.10s, we're at a dodge on this IBIT trade. And think about it. I haven't traded this in quite some time. To be honest with you, I just don't feel like it's overly in play at the moment. So let's head back up to our top of our watch list, up 1.5%. Very rarely do we see this. Ozan. Yes, Ozan. We're heading towards that $200 marker, brother. And Los Polios, this is looking really, really good here. 199.92, 92 the best year potentially ever. Let's send things off to Adara.
Trump is name-dropping defense companies. He's mentioned Lockheed Martin at least 4 or 5 times now, mostly kind of in the same context, but basically he's talking about how he believes the U.S. can, quote, quadruple the output of munitions. We know he wants defense companies to be building more. He's praised Lockheed Martin for some of the projects they're supposed to be doing. He mentioned Northrop Grumman as well, so NOC. NOC, a lot less of a move here, but LMT to the upside. Most recently, Trump saying that Lockheed will be establishing a sustainment facility in Europe. Back to you.
All right, so here's Northrop, guys, and here's Lockheed Martin. They're not really doing anything. So the name dropping maybe not working to Donald Trump's intentions here. But yeah, I mean, there it is. He's name dropping a couple of things here. LMT, Northrop here. They're not moving like the Palantirs or anything. They typically don't have the liquidity. Look at it from a volume standpoint. We have 350,000 shares, 360,000 shares there. So I'm not going to call it e-liquid because there's obviously volume stepping in, but nothing from a million standpoint. What's going on? Oracle down another 2.4% here today. But look at all the red. Look at all the red here. I mean, a space that was hot for a couple of days. Delta Airlines, Boeing, UAL, AAL. When everything was selling off, you found some strength in some of the airlines when the price of oil was continuously bleeding. Now, how is Burry short? Be a bounce, but if this does fail, that 906 level, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more downside. Applied Materials, let's see how you're performing. Nice little bounce here, but I'm sure he's short from all the way. This guy caught some nice tops, so I'll give him credit for that. But apparently he's long Lululemon. I don't know if he's still long Lululemon. That is not working out. But winners, a little bit bigger than the losers, hopefully. And look at that, it's just a perpetual downtrend in the Canadian athleisure wear company.
Yeah, did you see President Trump and his comments yesterday on Spain?
No.
It's going to end. He wants to stop doing all trade with Spain.
Because they're not allowing Palantir there?
I don't know. I think there's, possibly, but there's probably bigger issues with President Trump and the leader of Spain. Obviously, some interesting comments. Shrimpy, $4.99 super chat. Appreciate the tips. Taught me a lot so far. Just learning by trial and error, I guess. Figured you guys have better leads than me until I learned. Well, we had to start somewhere as well, brother. So shout out to you and thank you for the super chat. Stick with us always. We're always going to give you exactly what we're thinking, honestly, and what we're doing. You'll be able to see exactly our trades and everything there. Where's my man Eduardo in the chat? I want my man Eduardo chiming in here. Eddie, where you at, man? I want to hear your take on President Trump's statement yesterday regarding your country. I'm going to ask Luis about it as well. So let me know if you're there, Eddie. Shout out to you, brother. Hope you're doing well. All right, guys, we got a couple of runners here. OPTU. This wasn't much of a runner. In fact, the volume was a little sporadic on this one. Into the high of day, 135. It's only up 14.4%, but a good look. Nonetheless, CAN coming back down a little bit here after making a 34.50 high. I'm talking pennies, not dollars. 32.25 is the 10 EMA, but the breakout level is anywhere between about 31 pennies to about 31.5. That's a flat top. So you could see that level tested again. Keep your eye out on that. SkyQ, disappointing. Quite disappointing. I figured we were at least get to the $0.50, and then we failed to even get to the high of the day on the last latest attempt. So I was involved in that, had to stop out, break even on the rest. What else is moving, man? TVRD is in a pullback, lower highs, unbroken lower highs. I'm still very alive to this one. Should it change trend and breach prior bar high, we can get involved. Now, it did with this candle. I need another one here so I don't get lured into a downtrend. But I've got TVRD ready to go here on the trading screen, showing me 4 1/3. So prior bar high on the 5-minute, 436. Current bar high, 436. So now we know for a fact the 36 seller has shown their hand. And here we are at 34s. Let's see if we can mosey on up, take out that 36 seller and see what's good. 37 just showed up, but it didn't show up on the bid. So let's see if the bid and the ask can both move above that key level. It's up 40%. It's not up big, but it does have a good amount of volume, about 15.25 million shares traded. I want to also mention NVVE seems to be returning here from below volume weighted average price. Let's put that up quickly. We're involved in that one. All sorts earlier. Here's $9 again, trying to take out that level. It's a 1035 high on NVVE, and it's back above 9, but I'm not going to be quick to jump into that in the same way that I'm not quick to jump into TVRD. It's going to have to show me a little bit more. So really nothing really at highs at the moment unless you're looking at OPTU and OTLK. Now, OTLK we didn't say much about. $1.68 high, good hold off the volume weighted average price, and it's trading at the high as we speak. But not really my cup of tea, I got to tell you the truth. So I'll steer clear of that. Volume's a little light on OTLK. So that's it. TVRD, continuing to see if we can kind of get above that 436 area decisively, and then NVVE. We'll get back into that one if it's warranted. See, this one is a little tricky for me, though. And look at it rip into that 9 1/5 now, off 9, right? But we have so much resistance at 9 1/2, right? So I could take the move here into 9 1/2, fine. Yeah, that's completely workable. But something tells me the shorts are going to step in a little bit earlier than that 9 1/2. And it's already back down into 9 here, Joey. So I don't know. I'm debating here. I'm not really liking anything at the moment. But should something show up, obviously we'll jump in. As always, guys, if there's anything new and exciting in the world of small cap gappers, I'd love to hear about it. Did you see AMC's up today?
No.
AMC. It's back, baby.
See what it's up to. Show me
It's
what
up
it's
like
up
4
to.
and change.
I got a couple of things that we need
6
to...
and change here, man. It just got to the
6%?
high of day, almost 7. $1.84 on AMC. Macquarie giving them the nod today. It looks like maintains the neutral. Did they raise the price target? I think they did to an entire $2, up from 150 to 2. Joseph Wilson.
Dang, watch out for a big time move there. And
there were times on this show where we really couldn't, crap on AMC without somebody in the chat calling you a suit, And now I feel like that it's kind of faded away. All the AMC bulls are not there as much as they were.
I wonder why, Sharif. All right, guys, this is huge. Ozan, I tried tagging you in the chat. Look at this, $200.13. All right, a big volume spike. This is going to be probably our 4th volume spike right there. Inverted. I've lost spoilers. I've seen you in the chat. I haven't seen Gorev. There goes NVVE, Sharif.
I'm watching it, man.
Yeah, so that's a nice little uptick. I got my eyes on this one. Dude, I might just have to step away from some of these large caps right now and just focus on some of these small cap momentum styles. Ooh. But I think there might be a potential short. Gotta put the money where the mouth is, right, ladies and gentlemen? So if I believe something, if it breaks the high of the day, there it goes to the downside via NVDL. That's how we're gonna look to play this one. 29.80, so I have to give this more than 30 cents. We'll start really small on that. On this here, which I have no issues with, as long as we don't breach the high of the day, I think we might be able to get a move back in towards VWAP. I could be totally wrong, the fact that there's a couple positive catalysts for this. Perfect, thank you. We're gonna go over that right now. So we're short NVDA via NVDL. Let's see if that move works out for us. But we got Dave. What's up, brother? Much appreciated. One of the kindest souls out there. Everyone gets a super chat. 10, I'm sorry, not everyone, but 10 people here. Who do we got? Danielle gets one. Ooh, okay, my criminal channel. Okay, I am the real Tony. Ilkin, Javi, Rish, Stoke, Kenny, Twist, Trading E-Shorts, Steve.
Steve?
Oh, Steve.
Not
Yes,
Steve.
Yeah, why is not Steve?
I don't know.
Steve gets one. Everyone gets one. That was I just named out. So thank you very much,
Rigged.
Dave, for that.
People are yelling rigged. I love it.
That's crazy.
Oh,
but yeah,
man.
no, aside from that, guys, I'll pull up my short thesis here. We got it all out of this. We're talking about 10s. I wouldn't be surprised if it curls over at this point, but that's okay. Small entries on that one. We lost half of what we made on NVVE. So we're not worried about that at all. But now we want to keep our focus on this trade, just in case if it does break through this level, right? I believe we have a good risk to reward right here. Past this level, we're at a dodge on this one, and then we most definitely have to reassess the situation. Now, if I didn't have to order shorts for SpaceX and DRAM, there could have been an opportunity there. But the market,
hey man, there's leverage ETFs that you can take.
Yeah.
You don't need shorts for those.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah, SPCC.
Right? So if you want to get into the short without
and RAM,
right?
What am I even talking about?
Yeah,
you
brother.
have RAM as well too for DRAM. That's 2x leverage, I believe.
And you don't need locates?
That I'm not sure of, brother. And then here's SPY. The SPY, the S&P 500, heading right back towards the high of the day. And it looks like at this trajectory, the NASDAQ is too, guys. So a nice recovery, about a half an hour of straight buy program so far. So this short on NVDA, not looking too bright, but hey, we're not going to count ourselves out until this level is broken.
Well said, man. And I just got to shout out everybody here who got the free membership. I got to tell you guys where you can find my morning note, because it is a little difficult to find. You're going to mosey on. Yeah, I know. I saw it. I pulled it up. Yeah, just go over to the YouTube homepage. So if you're one of the persons in the chat that got the free membership, mosey on over to the YouTube homepage here for Trader TV, click posts, and then go on down. It'll have this members only little tag at the top in green. Just click read more. You'll see a link at the bottom. Click that bad boy there, and it'll give you basically the entire gauntlet of movers on the day. We don't put any small cap gappers just because they're so transient, right? So any levels that I can show you in the morning may be completely irrelevant by the midday. And so that's why I don't put that on there. But, I think that the levels here for some of these larger caps a little bit more in play. But get that every day now that you guys are subscribers. And yeah, check it out. All right, Joey, NVVE did tank a little bit after making that 9.5 touch, but ironically enough, it's still holding above 9, so we're going to get involved in this one despite the tank. Now, prior bar low takes me to a little bit below 9, so I got to give it at least 878, right? So we're going to go 7/7s. We'll go like that, and we'll stop out below that. Oh, crap, Nick.
Yeah,
W6761 Sharif, best of luck today. Like the long on TGT. Thoughts? Also looking at the higher time frames. You know what? I was just looking at that right now, SSE. That's the thing. I was looking at my value chart there, and look what I noticed, Joey.
What'd you notice?
Look at the consumer defensives. You got your Target, your Costco's, your Walmart. They're all green on the day.
That's what I'm saying, my boy.
Even your boy Dollar General. TGT, though, leading the way here, far and away, up 4 1/3, 133.50. I'd be looking for a deeper retracement, possibly, brother, into 132 3/4 off the 20, because you did get a nice clean hold here off the 20 moving average on the 5. and then it rocketed back up into 133.50. Let me just look quickly here to see where local area resistance could be. So if you do catch a bid, I'd be definitely looking out for that 136 level as a local area of resistance. There's also the possibility of 135. This is the 4-hour chart on target. You have a triple top there that got cleared eventually back on the 24th of June. So I'd be looking 135, and if it really goes 136, but you're already up 4 1/3 right on target. So you may have to look for tomorrow. And there goes NVVE up big here, Joey. Boom. Give me my money, man. Into a third and got 911. We just took out some there. We're going to send it to Sia. She's got news at the big desk.
Absolutely.
The SPY currently down 0.57% at the moment. We're going to take a dive into what the sectors are doing today. Let's start with electric tech. We have Nvidia leading the pack, up 1.2% at the moment. Apple trading flat. AVGO up 6%. We do have news about AVGO, so stay tuned for the news segment. MU up. Currently trading flat technically, but up 0.12%, very relatively small. AMD, INTC, GE continue to slide to the downside. Cisco up 1.6%, SNDK up 1%, and KLAC, Dell, TXN up 1%. They have tech services majorly in the red. We have the big names, Meta, Google, Microsoft, all sliding towards the downside, sliding more than 1%, Meta close to 2%, Oracle down 2.3%, Netflix trading flat at the moment. IBM and Palantir, PA&W all to the downside. PA&W down 4%. We have finance. Again, a bit of a bearish sentiment here. BRKB, JPM, Visa, MasterCard, BAC, MS, GS, all to the downside. We have JPM down close to 2%, Visa down 1.4%, MasterCard to the downside 2.3%, BAC and MS down 2 and 2.15% respectively. In retail trade, we have Amazon sliding further down towards the 2% mark. Walmart and Costco in the green, showing a bit of bullishness here. Walmart's up 1.6% on the day, with Costco up 1.18%. Home Depot, TJX, however, sliding to the downside, with Home Depot leading the bearish pack down 3.535%. Producer manufacturing was lagging behind yesterday, seems to be trying to catch up today. AMET is up 2.4%. We have LRCX up 1.8%, closer to 2. CAT, however, dragging down a little bit, inching closer to 1%, down 0.65%. GEV up 1%. Consumer non-durables, we have a bit of a mixed sentiment throughout this sector. KO is trading flat, PG down 2.3% on the day. Consumer durables, we have Tesla down 2.4% on the day. Health tech, bit of a mixed sentiment, but a lot of flat here. Lilly, J&J, and ABBV trading flat, with MRK down 2.2%. Energy minerals, like I said, is the best performing sector on the S&P 500 today, was in a bit in the morning. XOM, however, trading flat at the moment. CVX up 1.5%. Consumer services, we have McDonald's down almost 2%, and Disney trading flat at the moment. Process industries is a bit of a bear of the day, I would say, followed by transportation, where Uber's down 1.8% at the moment. Whereas distribution, health services, industrial sectors, all a bit of a mixed sentiment and a bit of flatness throughout these three sectors, with the final sector over here, commercial services, dragging down, all in the red, except ROL up 2.3% on the day.
Thank you very much for that, Sia. All right, guys, did well here on this NVVE trade, but it is having trouble again with 950, so I took out some there. We'll see how this one sets up. If it wants to come back into 9 off the 10 EMA, we'll get involved, but right now I'm just going to steer clear of this one for the moment. Mike PD Rider dropping 2 nice ones in the chat. We'll thank him for that. Joey, wow, look at NVVE drop. 11-2, my favorite part of the day, even if we got no vol. Yeah. And, shout out to Mike PD Rider, man. Always a good vibe. Love that guy. Great guy. Get it, Mike.
I did not say that ever. That's crazy. Yeah, Sharif, I took a scalp with you on NVVE as well. I believe that just with the trajectory that it was on, that it was going to head towards that previous pivot high. Not necessarily the case. So we'll break that down here momentarily. We obviously got something interesting coming from Donald Trump, but there was this second scalp. So we go 2 for 2 on this bad boy and just get out at the break even. Adara, what do you have for us as NVDL is starting to break down? We're going to head over and take a look at the options chain on this name momentarily. I know someone mentioned something. I'll explain to you momentarily in just a minute on what my thesis was behind this trade. Adara.
More comments here coming from both Trump and Iran on oil. President Trump still speaking here during this press conference, saying that a couple minutes ago that, quote, he's not sure he wants a deal with Iran. Let's finish the job. He's really continuing to hammer on this claim that he does not want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Now we've got Iran's deputy foreign minister reportedly coming out and saying that Iran needs to communicate with Trump using a language of strength or force because they believe that Trump understands that better. So, again, more indications that we're going to get some more strikes heating back up, unfortunately, in the Middle East with U.S. and Iran. Back to you.
Very valid point, RJ.
You want to add some context here? Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
I said RJ. Very valid point.
Okay, RJ. Look at RJ. What do you say, Joey? Because I can't find
He said
it.
all Iran has to do is just wait it out until the next administration.
Yeah? It's that simple, huh?
Well, I mean, it's obviously much easier said than done.
I don't think
but
I think their plan here is to try to influence the midterms so that an impeachment process can ensue. Because if they do get both houses, we may see him be impeached.
Yeah?
Yeah, not just impeached, but lose the trial in the Senate. That was how he stayed in power last time, right? He lost the House. And it's super easy to impeach a president because it's a simple vote of majority in the House.
Okay.
But the Senate is kind of like the blocking stop, where there's a trial in the Senate on the merits, and then really depending on if you have a majority in there or not, right? And that's kind of, I think that probably is their strategy. It's a much shorter term strategy. I don't think they can wait another couple of years. I think that changes things fundamentally, man. So we'll have to. Brother, hearing colors, I'm not saying that there is grounds to impeach. I'm saying that's probably what the tactic that they're going to use. And again, there doesn't really have to be anything on the merits. It's a simple vote, right? And that's the issue. I don't really like the process either. But let's go up to Adara. I think she's got news.
So many comments being made by Trump. Once again, he just said he doesn't think the Iran war will start again, but then also said when they hit, we hit them 10 times harder. We could do this again tonight. So kind of, I guess, continuing to suggest that they're going to be getting some, or very likely to strike Iran tonight. He wants to settle the situation. Seems like by force is the way that this is going to be settling out based on some comments that he's made. Quote, anything that happens will be over quickly. Just be aware, again, more tensions. USO actually dropping a little bit in this most recent set of comments, but keep an eye on it.
PTU is taking out highs, guys. This one is looking quite good here. It is about to take out the high that we put in yesterday, I believe, right at the open. Yeah, so this is the implied balance open high. It's up 17% today. It was up big yesterday, and then it ended up selling off with the entire market recovering today. OPTU, the intraday high yesterday was 140. We just got to 139. So be on the lookout here. It could reject. Is that 140? I think it's a little bit higher, man. No, it's 140. 140 level from yesterday on OPTU. Be alive to this one. If it takes it out, we could see 50 pretty quickly, Joey.
All right, man. Good stuff. So uptick there. Levin's family know it's Tim Hortons, man. I don't know if you're aware of that one there. Art of the deal. Anyways, aside from that, listen, it's just back and forth. The same thing with NVDA chips. It's one thing 1 minute, and then it's the following. So anyways, NVDL, let's see if we're going to get this breakdown. Someone asked if we could take a look at the options chain here on this bad boy. Absolutely. Of course we can. We can do anything at any given moment as long as you ask nicely. And I know we've gone through it already today, but nothing wrong with going over it again. Now, you can see that we're continuously struggling at this $200 mark. I mean, it can break, but that means a lot of these contracts are going to be underwater. And I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case on today's session, even though the momentum is to the top side, right? Like we're up 1 1/4 here at this point. So, hey, it is what it is. We got that nice breakdown into 2950s, looking for a little bit more to around 2920s. That'd be ideal. But as soon as we breach that high, then it's see you later. There goes NVVE again. I got my eyes on it. May as well take another scalp because the mega cap over the past couple of days, as soon as this oil stuff comes into play, hasn't been my best trading. Small cap has, and I like the fact that I can just go from one to another, one not working, the other working. So let's keep our eyes on this just in case we break this key pivot. A seller, it seems to be the case at 950 on NVVE. If it breaks, what we want to see is the tape really start to pick up its momentum. We'll keep an eye out on this one, but past couple of sessions, not the best trading for me on large caps, much better trading in the world of small caps.
Nice, man. Like to hear it, obviously. There goes S-Dot. We're over $1 in the money on this one. Give me my money, man. There we go. We're looking for a little bit more. We got 22.79. It's showing me 23.80. This one can flip the script on you quicker than you can even think. 24 showing up now. Seller at 24. Let's wet the beak here. Big move up here for me. Limit up is 24.82. Limit up 24.82. Looking for a breach at 24. Not getting it. So there's a seller here locally at 24. Let's wet the beak here on some profits. We'll make some back. Looking for a bigger move up. Pardon me. Gotta fix that. Looking for a bigger move up here through 24. We're not getting anything through 24 though, so I'm a little concerned that we do drop. So we'll take it out here. We'll end that trade. But good move up here on the dot. 25.10 now, limit up. So what I'll be looking for here is a decided clearing of 24. And if we get that, then I could possibly weasel back in. But thank you guys for pointing S-Dot out. Not typically a trade I engage in because it is heavily negative on the day, but I'm completely alive to the short coverings here and how we could kind of, great call out, Timothy, because I don't, brother. Timothy picked up on it immediately. I don't typically trade names that are red, right? My strategy is just to go with the momentum.
There it goes, wow.
Pardon me, Joe?
Big breakdown on
NVVE, yeah. It's a bamboozler in chief.
It's really choppy.
Can I say something to you, though?
Yeah, for
Have
sure.
a quick look over here. Look at this. A lot of support here at the...
It's hard for me to look at.
Oh, are you in a position?
Yeah.
Don't worry about that then, man. Do your thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's finding support generally at the 10 EMA on 10 NVVE, but it's not. It's also putting in lower highs. So that topping tail candle, 1235, 975 high, Joe. Just keep looking and I'll read you the levels.
Yeah,
964 high, and this current candle has a 944 high. So it's lower high, lower high, lower high. Be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely, man.
But yeah, watching here, S-Dot accumulate at 24. I'm interested here at the dot, on the dot, looking for that to clear. Now, the thing is about this one, if this clears 24 decisively, I could find it at 24.50 in a second, just like that. 24.35, 24.50, 24.70. That's the problem with this one. So it gives me like no time to actually get ready for this. 25.36 limit up on S-Dot. We're showing 24.91, 95. So it's at $1 in a matter of moments here on SDOT. Wow, what a move up. 25 now showing up. Recall, 25.36. You'll always know if you're looking at my screen what limit up is because it'll be in the red rectangle right there. And now we're very close to limit up. 25.36, 25.89 now. Limit up. Wow, I shouldn't have got out of that, man. Sucks. Oh, wow, that would have been a nice move up there, Joey. That would have put us up big on the day. 25.89 now. It's showing me 25.80. 25.89 limit up. So SDOT should be in focus here for the small cap gapper incline because it does look like a big short cover. And I have to show you guys what I mean by that because we're decidedly negative on the day, right? So let's put this all in perspective. All right, let me move up here, go to the 15 so it shows up a little bit clearer. Yeah, all right, here's where we closed out, guys. So we closed out yesterday at 40 bucks, all right? When all was said and done, we got to $11 today. So this is a little bit of a short cover, obviously, right? I think that we can all agree there. And look at this. We halted down at 28 bucks, give or take, and then we opened up at 11 and change. Like that, oh man, imagine being caught short at that, right? Like that would be great. So SDOT definitely in focus for you guys, and I'd be looking at this one until it rejects a key level here. I would be looking though for that halt level, which I mentioned is about 28 bucks. So we could get a nice move up here. Now it might not be in a straight line on S-Dot from 25 to 28, right? Because 28 is that intraday halt level. So look out for that for resistance. Shout out to my man Bovin. Bovin says, Sharif, ELTX, can you look at it? Chart looking good on the 5-minute, but need volume, I think. We're going to look at that one super quick, Bovin, and then we'll send it up to CF for Money Talks. But let's look at ELTX. ELTX. All right, that's the daily on that. Anybody wondering? Let's throw in the 5. Shout out to my man Bovin. Yes, okay, I do like this. I don't like the price spikes up, Bovin, and then the immediate moves down. That tells me right away that, when the big price move comes to the high side, there is somebody right there to either take profits and short it and move it back down. But can't argue with you on this, Bhavin. The higher lows here definitely in play. I'd be looking for something off maybe 343, 340. And then if it loses 330, which is an area of support here, I'd be getting out of that. But ELTX, good look there. Shout out to the OG Bhavin. Unreal S-Dot 2550. We got to go up to see you.
The euro currently up against the dollar, 0.06%. Not that big a difference, but something to look out for. So Spanish stocks and bonds have also come under fire today after U.S. President Donald Trump has demanded that the United States would and should cut trade ties with the country, escalating tensions over defense spending as well as Iran war during the NATO summit today. So also, on the other hand, we have the pound up against the dollar as well, 0.24% today. The pound holding steady after U.S. President Donald Trump has said that the interim agreement to end the war with Iran was, quote unquote, over after Tehran has carried out new attacks on U.S. bases in the Gulf. I'm also going to check how the dollar is doing at the moment. Sorry, take a look at that. The dollar currently sliding a bit down on the day, 0.03%. It's trading around the 101 mark right now, but I would say it's pulling back a little bit.
All right, so here we go. Thank you very much for that, Sia. Someone's saying NVDA looking strong. That's why we're going long for the high of the day break. Was it going to break down for us? So we just flip it up here. Gamma exposure, $200 incoming. We might get a little squeeze here, guys, which we're currently experiencing right now. So not too bad of a look. Let's go AMZN. Let's go Los Pollos. Now trying long NVIDIA 215. All right, beautiful stuff, brother. That's what I'm long around here. So let's see if we get any form of continuation. And we know how this name typically moves, right? It takes a lot of cash in order to move it. So these pullbacks can be pretty hefty. What I'm thinking is that we have this move breaking the high of the day, momentum style. We take some off, and then we reload just in case that pullback holds. What we do is we move half right there, and then we're going to leave the rest for a runner. If it continues to move, then so be it. $30 is going to be our next target. But if it comes back and retests this zone, I think that's going to be a high-quality opportunity for us to reload and just add substantially more size. I keep forgetting that this is 20, even though it's right in front of me. What you have to do with this leverage play now, because it's done its split, you have to add significantly more shares. So with that strong uptick, we could have done a little bit better if I put on some more size, but that's why calculating your risk is key for every single trade. We're sending it off to Adara.
Really interesting update here for NFLX. Keep an eye on Netflix. Not much of a move in the stock, but the company just announced that they're basically going to be making some internet videos available on Netflix. So I read through this press release because I was quite curious. And basically what it means that a lot of content you can find on YouTube from brands like BuzzFeed, Condé Nast, that includes the Architectural Digest home tours. You're not going to have to go to YouTube to find them anymore. You'll be able to find them on NFLX. Interesting look here for Netflix. That'll start here for you viewers with any level of subscription in the US, Canada, UK, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand on August 3rd. Keep an eye on BuzzFeed BZFD with this catalyst as well, because again, BuzzFeed will be one of the groups whose videos you'll be able to view now on Netflix as opposed to a competitive site like YouTube. Back to you.
That's a really nice break.
There goes TVRD, Bhavin into AMZN. $4.69 is the current high of the day. My man Bhavin calling out PENG as well. Shout out to my man Bhavin. But I'm definitely keeping an eye here on TVRD. Now, this could be a big boy move back, right? It straddled the 10 EMA on the 5 and found support here at, looks like the fifth of a dollar, give or take. And then it just ripped up in one 1-minute candle, let alone 5-minute candle, man. It was one move, one swift move off the $0.25 into the high at 69. So great look here for TVRD. But it does have a tendency to retrace when it does make intraday highs, or at least consolidate for a little bit. So be on the lookout for that.
There it goes. We're
Get it, Joey.
We'll see.
My man Joey Ops.
Yeah.
Get it, Joey.
I like it. See, man, we want the continuation to be pretty quick here, and if it's not, then we have to be prepared just in case it doesn't want to break on this ABCD style pattern.
Oh, I like how you called that, Joey.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like, right? So that's why we're gonna get involved with it. There it goes, Sharif.
That's my man.
I'm sorry, guys. We'll pull it up here. I only care about the tape at this point. I can do all my transactions. So there it is. We're 64s. taps into 75s, which isn't bad whatsoever. Looking for a little bit more, but we don't want to get too greedy. This isn't the tape, guys. This is NVDA tape. All right, so we'll get all out of this bad boy, and we'll focus on TVRD for the time being, as we're now pumping into 73s. I want to head over to the tape on this one, TVRD, but the thing is, it takes so much time at times. So we'll focus on what we have, breaking that level. This is the ABCD pattern that I was talking about. Now we just need some form of continuation, and I have to be prepared to take some off. What is my first exit going to be? About a third of the total position. But what we're going to try to do right now is diamond hands the scalp in this momentum. Did I take everything out of it? Yeah, I did take everything out of NVDA. So now we're just on this bad boy streak.
All right, man. I'm in it with you here. Yeah, well, we'll watch. We'll watch. We got 68. AMZN, I was trying to get 69, man. I used my hotkeys, and it didn't give it to me. So we got 68s there, but that's all right. We're looking for a bigger move up, man. I mean, if it loses 60, we got some room here. We had a great trade there on the dot. So that buys us a lot of room with which to work. Obviously, I don't want to gamble, but I like the strength on this one into that $0.75 area. In fact, $0.75 is the resistance currently. It is 75 pennies on the dot. I've only got one profit taker on this so far. The tape's getting a little bit heavy here. You can kind of see the book getting a little bit thick. Not too much in the way of posted size, so most of the orders are coming in instantly or they're icebergs, so be on the lookout for that. But I think a loss of 60 gets me out. Now, if it holds 50 and moseys on back, we can get involved. There's another move up to 75. There's 76 Joseph options. There's good look. But the seller coming in at set. Oh,
yes, sir. That's
no,
what I'm talking
they
about,
killed
my boy.
him, Joey.
He's dead.
Whoa. Into 68. It's the world of small cap gappers that I'm out right there.
Yeah,
there we go.
We'll take it.
I take that out, break even. Not bad. Let's see if it comes back into 50. I don't mind buying it at 50. There's probably going to be. Yeah, that's just the way they are, bro. They're
crazy,
animals,
like,
man. You know, you think you're in the money there.
There's no point in even, like, sorry to interrupt you on
go
this,
ahead, brother.
but I'm honestly thinking it's like if you get the pop, take out the whole, for me, like take this whole position out. For what I had, I take a third out, but I would have been significantly more profitable if I just offloaded the whole thing right up here instead of allowing it to come back to break even. Obviously,
there you go.
Each their own. We'll see what's happening on this one, man. But yeah, that movement is crazy.
A lot of people, okay, so this is a really good point. So a lot of people, what they do is they'll go full position out, right? Full position, dip, add, full position, out, full position.
Man. Yeah, man.
You know who does that, obviously, right? That's kind of his move there. Yeah, exactly. TVRD, oh no, held from close and sold at the last high. Wow, this thing is strong, says Jackie. Yeah, it is, man. But, you know, it does go through these long periods of consolidation. Case in point right there, Assassino. Look how long we moved sideways here. I was initially involved with this one at 4 1/4. It basically held 4 1/5, but it made me wait a long time, man. So that's kind of what we're doing there. But yeah, man, OPTU continues to go, guys. 143. I've done nothing on this one, but that one is remaining to be strong. Apple. Oh boy, 313 in a fifth here, eh, Joey? So not bad.
Apple's really nice, man.
Yeah, Apple and Nvidia. Nvidia's the strongest of the Mag 7 today. Broadcom having itself a day over here, my boy. 6 1/3. Good look there with Apple today. Good tie up there. I think we'll probably get to it on the new segment. Kilgo, Adira, Sharif, Joe. I don't think my president understands what oil glut means. What's up, my favorite time of the day? What's going on, brother? Yeah. RXT daily pop and drop is wild. Expect more above 10. I actually had RXT up, man, and then I took it off because I put it on a different one. But let's look up RXT over here. Yeah, that's a bit of a tough one. Look, it had a really good couple of days. We talked about RXT being a multi-day runner. It had a fantastic move up at 9:30. It looks like somebody had a market on open order that bought up a whole lot of shares, and about 703,000 shares took exchange hands right at that 9:30 candle. But like you said, man, it was a lot of topping tails. I guess that's probably what did it there. And then the loss of 7 1/3 brought this one coming down aggressively. Now we're holding 6 1/4. But like, let's not be myopic, right? Let's look here at the 15. Because generally, we're still consolidative. Like, look at this sideways price action here on RXT. Let's go even wider. Let's go hourly on this bad boy. What do we got on the hourly? Well, we certainly have a support area here at 575, which used to be a resistance area. Resistance, though, looks to be more or less $8, give or take. There are times it doesn't quite make it up there, and there are other times where it breaches it. Case in point, the price action on the 17th of June. What are you doing over there?
Yeah, I'm just, I got a mad shoulder pain, man.
Bro, at least you didn't hurt your shoulder doing leg press.
I know, man. But
Can I
I was
tell
trying
you?
to fist pump, and I'm like, man,
So
this hurts.
I had to be careful there
But,
for a few days with my training.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I had to drop the weight substantially, 75% of what I typically do.
Really?
Just making sure that I could actually do the motions
Without
themselves.
hurting yourself.
Exactly. And what I'm finding, the only restriction that I have right now in my range of motion are bicep curls.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, not even anything to do with shoulders. Funny, I did side raises, lateral raises,
Really?
front raises, reverse flies, everything shoulder related. Fantastic. Come to do biceps, it starts clicking.
Oh, maybe you got a little tendonitis up in there,
I
man.
think it's rotator cuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Isn't
my
the rotator,
suspicion.
the rotator's in the back,
It's
though,
in the
there?
middle part,
it?
isn't it? Isn't
I
it
didn't-
under
I
the
thought it was
medial
there.
deltoid? That was what my understanding.
Well, you know it. You would know a lot. But I got
Ozan's
some shoulder pain
pumped
going
here.
on. Yeah, Ozan's really pumped right now. I'm
NVIDIA
pumped
over
as well, too.
200.
We might have got out of that one too early, messing around with these small caps, but it is what it is, and we'll take it for what it is. So there it is, 201. We'll head back over to the options chain and see what we have there. These are underwater now, folks, right? Officially ITM on this $200 strike price, which we're currently trading at 201 roughly. I believe we're going to top into 201. 201.03 as we continue to climb. The rumor might be true, Sharif, but what is true is that I might hop right back into this TVRD trade to see if it's going to make another leg higher. Would prefer to get the, oh, yes.
Nice.
All right, Luis is here. Hey, man, TVRD. We're going to be talking about this one. I'm in it once again. We are trading another small name, NVDA. Are we ready for him? Are you ready for him? I'm ready. Hopefully, I would like to say I was born ready, but as soon as this level is broken, which isn't necessarily the truth, but 458, I'm at a dodge on this bad boy, Sharif. And you know what? I'm just gonna wait for that scalp. We get that pop into $4.80 again. I'm at a dodge. I'm taking full position out, brother.
470 there. Good look. Let's bring in Luis, man. What a day to have Luis join us. Hey, there he is.
Hello.
Luis Barbados. First of all, Luis, we, you know, you don't have to thank us, right? But Arsenal, of course, made Mikel Mourinho available to the great team of Spain. And he was the one that got you over the border there. So go Arsenal! What's going on, Luis? How'd you like yesterday's game, man?
He already gave us the Euro Cup.
He did? Remember that?
Yes.
Remember the header? And that's what I remember him by, like that crazy header where he like contorted his body in the air and put it in. But he's good like that.
He's good at arriving to the box. You know, we needed at that moment a midfielder who could arrive to the area because we were playing good, but no one was there to make a goal. So it was a very nice change, actually.
It was very good. I like your chances in the next round as well. Not too many goals from Spain this World Cup, but very, very sound defensively and technically. That's typically how Spain is, though. They're always excellent technically.
You know, the goalkeeper has the world record and the World Cup.
Clean
0
sheets.
goals for, I don't know, 8 matches, something like that.
Something like that. Something like, yeah. Shout out to Unai Simon. You and I were talking about Unai Simon as maybe he shouldn't have been the #1 guy, but clearly, he's earned his spot there. So tell me what you thought about yesterday's game just before we get into the actual small caps.
Oh, first of all, I'm so sorry for you.
That's
because
okay.
It was a very, very tough match. But, everything can happen. That's why we like football so much because, it's so, I'm not going to say it's random, but it's not so much like in basketball, more you can forecast, because the events are so common in other sports that it's very easier to forecast, and that's why professional bettors, they don't bet in football because the event, it's not that common. So
I was actually reading an interesting article about the prediction markets. They've seen a huge uptick in soccer, let's just call them predictions. Let's not call them bets. But yeah, it's interesting. I think Americans really, they weren't really used to trade or betting on soccer. Now because of the World Cup, they're kind of focusing on it there. But I want to mention one thing. What I saw from Argentina was a more of a defensive posture initially in the game, and then when they went behind, they threw everybody forward. And so kind of had me wondering why they weren't more aggressive initially, because they were able to break down Egypt when they became so aggressive moving forward. So I wonder if they got it tactically wrong in the beginning to, be more laid back like that, because once they started going forward, there just was no stopping. That's what I felt.
Well, first of all, I think that the start of the game was more about measuring each other, and also they know that they cannot play like 100% the 90 minutes because they depend a lot of from Messi.
Yep.
And Messi is a 30-minute player right now at the age. So
well said.
They set the rhythm slow to control the match and control the rhythm. It didn't work out.
No.
And then the rest of the score made them push a little bit more for the last 10 minutes. So it happened the same with Cabo Verde. So
yeah,
I never know what's going to happen in the next round.
All right, Luis, let's get down to work. Should we see what he's trading today?
Yeah, let's see. What do you got on the list here today, Luis?
Well, first of all, I think it's good if we review what we talked pre-market with Adara, because it worked pretty nice, and I can only blame myself that I didn't take some of these trades. First of all was CLRO. We talked about shorting here in the 14 level against this 1450. And first goal was around 1250. And next goal was breaking of the closing VWAP of day before, this 12. And then I said could go to 10, 9, 8, 7. And there went pretty nice, very, very nice trade. Now it's bouncing, and it could be a nice short around here with a tight stop again, 1250 for as a stop. So you're risking 40, 50 cents to make a couple of dollars again. But this one was very, very nice. Pre-market, I didn't take it. It was a little bit thinner there. Level 2 was very, very, very thin with 10, 15 cents spread and only a few hundred on the bid, few hundred shares on the bid and few hundred on the offer. So I thought, look, if I'm wrong here, it's going to be tough to get out. The slippage and a spread is going to cost me part of the day. So I didn't take the trade, my bad. And the second one was IOTR. It was this one. Yeah. We were talking about this 375, 380 for a short against this VWAP. Look at that. Amazing. Eh? It went there and just reject very, very strong. 70 cents profit with a very, very tight stop. Was another one. Very nice that we spoke pre-market. And then during the day, mainly I traded NVDA. This one, I was very, very patient for a short. First of all, because locates were kind of expensive. So I was thinking about it. I didn't buy locates here and I missed this movement down. But when it went to $10, I thought, okay, I'm going to take this chance here on the $10 break for a false break. And then I'm holding, I think I have it here. There you go. I was short there, and I am getting out here still 20% in, and I'm adding more here with a very, very tight stop. And I think if it doesn't go over these relative highs and go hold till the end of the day, it's a small position, but if it breaks VWAP, it's going to be a nice trade. If not, I'm risking only I'm average now 9.85, so I'm risking 10, 15 cents only for a nice profit. So that was another nice one.
Nice.
And the last one was TVRD. I think you traded as well.
Yep.
This was a little bit more difficult, both sides, I think, right? Probably, sorry, TVRD, why didn't load? Alone, right again, there you go. This was a little bit more difficult. Profit, and right now I'm short here, expecting this $485 to hold and try to go to the VWAP again for 10s, for 20s.
So you're looking for VWAP on that one. Okay, so TVRD, because we're looking at this one long, you're looking short. What are you seeing, Luis, if you don't mind my asking, at this level that's making you feel like perhaps we should be short here at 480s? Like, do you feel, is there a wider time frame
50% of going
Right.
higher or lower, but I have a very tight stop here, and you don't. I mean, if you go short here, at least you're risking like 30
Right.
to 40 cents, and I'm risking 10 cents, 15 right now.
Makes sense.
So my risk reward is better. I winning ratio, I don't think it's a 50-50 for me right now. But I have to say that it rejects very strong here, and we have seen like 3 or 4 legs already. So by the time we are now and volume is getting lower.
Right.
So, you know, it might work the short side, but first of all, it's a risk reward trade, not a winning ratio trade.
I like that. That actually makes a lot of sense. But I want to ask you, just before we get Joe in, S dot. So this one, it was all sorts of weak. This one closed out at $40 yesterday, Luis. It ended up making a move all the way down to $11, and it recovered somewhat here, almost 50% of the move, back from 11 into about 20, let's just say 26 and change. This is something that I wouldn't typically look at because it wouldn't show up on my gap scanner. I'd have to look at my gap down scanner. But is there anything you can tell us here about the price action on S dot? Do you think this is some short coverings, or is this an aggressive, you know, buy area off the bottom?
I just say stay safe, run away from this. You know, it's too risky.
Right.
One single trade can blow up your account in this kind of ticker. Look, it went from to $100, and then one day from $100 to $60, and today it's just halted on 28, right?
Yep.
And it opened in 11. So look, what if you go long here? It's halt and it opened in $1. It can happen because this is really manipulation, and the volatility and the halt risk is so high that it's not worth it to take one big mistake here and lose 50% of your month in one single trade. So it's a totally avoid for me because the halt risk, because of the volatility, and you know, it's very difficult to forecast what's going to happen here, and very difficult to manage the risk.
All right. Just before we get to Joe, because there's a super.
I seen that.
You saw that.
Yeah.
You want to cover it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Before we get into our, there it goes. I mean,
Yeah.
TVRD.
Watch out,
Be cautious of this one. I want to get into a little bit more conversation about this here, Luis. We took a couple of scalps on it today, but first and most importantly is we have a super chat directed specifically for you, Mr. Barbado. Thoughts on VTAK short TVRD, which we're in right now. Thank you very much. What are your thoughts on the short in VTAK?
I liked it, but the locates were very expensive. So we couldn't take this short. It's only because of price of the locates that we didn't take this short. But I really liked it. Pre-market, I said it's breaking day before highs here, so I'm gonna avoid this until 180, 190. If it gets there, I might try the short. But locates were very expensive. Look, today my colleague here explained me something. We have a very good trader, a very talented trader who programmed a system to short these small caps. He's making amazing money. And one of the analysis that he explained to me today was that he measured all hundreds of trades he did for the last couple of years. And you know what? Check this. When the locates were free or very cheap, the system, the algorithms lost money. When the locates were like,
makes sense.
You know, medium price, the system made a lot of money.
That's
and
amazing.
when the locates were very expensive, the system made money, but you know, 50-60% of it goes to the locate, so it's not worth to take that risk. So very important, because that when locates are cheap or very free or very cheap, the amount of people who go short is very high. So it is also that we see some selling pressure, but it's also that when it breaks, because of the short position are so big, because it's free to locate, so the amount of traders going short and the size, the position size is much bigger. The short squeeze is higher. So, you know, it's very important that you also take into account the price of the locate, if it's worth it to pay it or not. Because look, on NVDA, I pay the locates. We're not cheap, but I'm looking for $1 movement at least, you know. But on VTAK, VTAK, I think it was Amex, right? The price of the locates were like 15 cents. So you have to make 15 cents movement to scratch the trade. It's not worth it, right?
Yeah, fantastic explanation. And both Sharif and I were nodding. It makes complete sense.
agree.
The fact that, hey, these free locates, you don't get as strong as of a move that you're looking for. But when you pay for that expensive stuff, like for example, remember CAR, when we were all obsessed about CAR and how expensive those locates were at one point, to the tune where the stock actually dropped. So it does turn out, I can totally get behind that thesis and that data set. Yeah, it makes complete sense. Now I want to go back.
Going just to end this, the price of the locates are because demand and supply. And also because the brokers are not stupid and they see the probability for the trade to work and the volatility. So in CAR, they see, look, if you take this trade, you might make like $300 per share. So they're going to charge you a lot, right? So it's all about supply and demand and the volatility and the probability of the trade to work.
Yeah, perfect
Great
stuff.
information.
Yeah, it's
Information.
fantastic. It makes a lot of sense, and when it does, maybe we have to look a little bit more into that. But bring our attention back towards this TVRD. I believe, and I want to know if you think the exact same thing, Luis, and I want to know what your process is once the trade actually starts working, and if it starts working, is what we're starting to see here is a shelf. So I took a couple of long scalps here throughout this, but I'm starting to see a shelf formed and a key support level of $4.60. Now, I have the hunch that you would agree with me. If that support level breaks, you might get some more downside, and there it goes, a clean flush. Maybe it could be a liquidity grab. But throughout this process, are you going to be adding to this position if it really starts to work out for you? I know your price target's going to be the volume-weighted average price. Now, if we break down aggressively and hold below $4.60, are you going to exponentially bet size? Are you adding into this position? Or are you happy with the size that you've put on with that tight risk to reward that you've mentioned?
Well, right now I'm not happy with the size I have. I would like to pyramid this position and add in. It's very difficult to add in the perfect timing and price. Most of the time is more, I'm gonna load it here. It's more about the timing and not the price. So it's better being short right now at a worse price, but at a better timing. So I could be short on 475, but maybe it's better to go bigger on 450 when it's confirmed the trade. But you know, that's difficult. What I try to explain here when we teach people to trade is that you have to try to understand what is the feeling of the people who is long and the people who is short. Who is more comfortable? Are the longs being nervous now because it's breaking the support that they want to close, or or are the shorts more comfortable now? So that's what you have to think, and you have to go against the people who is not comfortable. Longs here shouldn't be very calm with the position because it's breaking this self, as you say. They have a not very good risk reward, so they are looking for some places, some liquidity pools to close the trade. The level 2 is very thin, so imagine if you're a long trader here getting a stack with 10,000 shares, which is not a lot. You cannot get out that easily with 10,000 or 20,000. So try to find out where are the points, the prices where the longs are more uncomfortable and when the shorts are more, calm with the position. So that's where you should add position to your trade.
Perfect stuff.
Great
Thank you very
stuff,
much.
Luis.
Yes.
Thank you so much. All right, let's talk a little soccer here, Luis. We gotta get the predictions in. So we're down to the final 8. Got a big game tomorrow. France versus Morocco. I know this one might seem like it's an easy one to choose on paper, but is it though, Luis?
It is not. I mean, France is so strong. They have the probably 2 best defenders of the World Cup, and they have the 3 best probably forwards there. That is true, but Morocco has something tactically. They're very strong and physically as well. So,
and very good on the counter. I saw them with my own eyes. They exposed Canada on every counter attack that they had, Luis, and they were clinical in front of the net, and they're fast as hell too. I'm not saying the French aren't fast. The French are very fast, obviously, but
They're fast running forward, not running back, running to defense.
So give me your pick there, France or Morocco.
I go with France.
You go with France. All right.
It's gonna be a tough match.
It's going to be a good one, right? I'm excited for that. Then we got Spain and Belgium. I already know your answer there, so we'll skip that one.
Spain, I mean, if it would be another like Argentina or Morocco or France, I would have more doubts. But I think Belgium is a step lower than
I love
Spain,
it.
France,
And then I really like this game. I think this game is going to be a toss-up. Norway versus England. Obviously, I want England to win. I don't like Erling Haaland. I like Martin Odegaard, of course, but I think that, well, of course, I have to hate him. Luis, he's a city. Of course, you know, like,
man,
it's by default.
You're gonna love that guy. You're gonna love that guy. He's so funny. Come on, the way he runs,
He's great.
The way he eats, the way he moves, everything about him is so funny. I go with Norway there.
You go with Norway? Oh my days. Okay. I would have, like last week, I would have said that's a crazy pick, but after the game I saw last time, I'm not going to take Norway, but I can completely see why.
The motivation there is amazing.
It is, yeah. And they haven't even been in the World Cup in a long time, so this is very good for them. And then last but not least, Argentina versus Switzerland. What are your thoughts on that one?
Argentina.
Argentina, easy work, huh? No? I don't know, man.
Not easy, but if Messi play like 10 minutes, that's enough to win a World Cup.
I love it.
39 years old. Oh my God, man.
And then we have an individual in the chat, Luis, who is a very big fan of yours. His name is Ozan. He happens to love the country of Spain, and he wants me to ask you, can you adopt him? Or if you can't adopt him, can you employ him so that he can move to Spain? All right, you don't actually have to answer.
Wait, you didn't know he has to
He's a
answer.
good guy. We chat sometimes.
You chat with those guys? Awesome, man. Good. All right, man.
Good guy.
Willis Addison, you mean the Africans playing for France? Yes. There's a lot of Africans in France, of course. They are immigrants.
There goes TVRD. How come I can hear myself there? TVRD breaking down through that 460.
Nice trade, Luis.
That's what we were talking about, the shelf break here of that level, and then now you're getting a little bit more downside momentum. So
probably is one of the points. I'm not very good on this, but this is one of the points you should pyramid and add to the position with a 460, 465. Very, very tight stop. You can go very, very big here with a 10 cents stop, but not the best setup for me. I mean, not an expert in this kind of trades, but it's the moment you should add to the position on the backside. Very tight stop and 50 cents profit if it works.
All right.
Stuff, man.
Great to see you again, Luis. Barbado, man.
I got a hot take, though.
You got a hot take.
Are you ready for this?
Of course I am.
France-Argentina final?
Again?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. We had that final already, man.
I think Spain-Argentina is the
World Cup. I'd rather that. I'd rather Spain-Argentina. Yeah, I don't want to see the same thing we saw in Qatar, man. I mean, we've already seen that matchup, right?
Seen it, man.
I don't want to see it again, but hey, it is what it is.
It was a great match, probably the best match in the World Cup history.
Easily.
We don't want to see it. We don't want to see it again.
Very exciting. All right, thank you for coming on, Luis. We're going to talk next week, and we're going to know, of course, the results of all 4 of those matches. So we'll be talking about that then. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you very much, guys.
Take care.
We have to talk about Bloom Energy. I put this headline on the screen when it came out, probably around 20 minutes or so now. But we've had a massive move in this stock, like dropping $15, back up $15, down $10. Let's talk BE. Basically, 100 Book Research released a short report on BE called Bloom's Big Lie. Now, I read through the intro of this report to get a sense of what the argument was. Basically, the lie that they're saying occurred here is that the CEO of Bloom Energy, K.R. Sridhar, has said at least 5 times over the past year that the company does not rely on a China supply chain, and specifically that they don't use scandium from China. That's a rare earth. Well, apparently, through filings and through Chinese corporate data, this short firm here, Hunter Brook Research, was able to find hard evidence that BE is, in fact, using C5 scandium from China. So whether or not that's true, they're making this case. They're accusing BE of lying, and especially given the political situation here with rare earths and with U.S. manufacturing and anti-China supply chains. Not a great look here for BE on this short report. We're going to send it over to Sia to start the news segment.
Thank you so much, Adara. Great news as always. Let's talk. B is always a great stock to talk about. I love BE as well. Thank you so much for that information. Let's move on to the news segment. So we'll start with Apple. Apple's committed $30 billion to push U.S. chip making. So now it's said that it's expanding its partnership with Broadcom in a multi-year deal that's expected to exceed the value of $30 billion. So this marks Apple's largest U.S. manufacturing commitment to date, and this agreement will basically lead the production of more than 15 billion U.S.-made chips and includes a $1.5 billion expansion of Broadcom's facility in Fort Collins in Colorado. So Apple hasn't provided a timeline for this new capacity, but it will be coming soon. It's coming from reports. Broadcom has also supplied Apple with connectivity components for a very long time, but this new particular agreement will deepen that relationship more so around its US-made custom silicon. So Apple has said that Broadcom will actually be making these wireless components used to help devices connect to cellular, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth networks. Broadcom has disclosed in its filings with the Securities and Exchange Commissions on Monday that it had entered into a new long-term agreements with Apple to develop and supply custom ASIC silicon products for multiple generations of Apple products that will continue to happen through the year 2031. So ASICs are application-specific integrated circuits that are increasingly being used for these large AI workloads. And with that, Apple is trading up almost 1%.
Yeah, TVRD is moving as well here. I don't know if you saw that, Joey. Yeah, let's talk about this because this is Apple's biggest push under their newly minted American manufacturing program, which of course was instituted as a result of the pressure by President Trump to reshore specifically the semiconductor supply chain. So they're tying the knot here with Broadcom, and Broadcom has this Fort Collins, Colorado plant that they're going to start making these chips at. Two important points I want to make about this specific plant. Firstly, Broadcom didn't build it. It's actually was built by HP. It's a legacy factory that they took over. So they never actually had a footprint for manufacturing in North America because they don't make their own chips. They design them. They're what we call a fabless chip designer, right? And they rely almost entirely on Taiwan Semi for their production. Now, the problem with relying on Taiwan Semi is their production capacity is almost maxed out. So nice to see that they're going to be able to make this on their own. 15 billion chips, Tia mentioned. She's absolutely right about that. But guess what? The cost per chip is going to be $2. So margins are going to be at a premium here for Broadcom. Very top line raising is this number, but does it move the needle on the bottom line? Profitability is what I care about, right? This is not a new company that's just in a growth phase. This is a $1 trillion, $2 trillion company, give or take, right? So I want to see bottom line as much as I want to see top line movement. I don't think that moves the needle with the $2 per chip. But I also want to say that this, despite Apple being up 1% on the day, this is an implicit, a tacit admission of failure by Apple that they were not able to make these chips in-house. We've seen them bring everything in-house, whether it's the C-series chips, the A-series chips, the M-series chips. They're all doing and designing it in-house. They couldn't do it here. That should say something to you as well. Last but not least, we're talking about Broadcom's valuation here, having a bit of a discount relative to some others. And the reason for that is because 20%, Joseph Options, of Broadcom's revenue comes from one single source, and that is the dead one, Apple. Yeah. So when you have such a huge single source concentration, you add a bit of a risk premium on top of that. I don't think this chip deal helps any with that risk premium, but we're relying more on that single source. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, let's give credit where credit is due. If you want any form of customer, it's probably going to be this company right now, right? So heavily reliable. We're looking at around over 15 billion chips made on this specific deal. But Sharif, just to add to your point, and to build on it, look how difficult it is to make your own in-house chips. I don't think it's the end of the world, but what does that make you more heavily reliant on? Other companies, Marvell's, Broadcom, NVDA. Now, they had trouble creating in-house series that upgrade the Apple Intelligence that they had to outsource to Google as well, too. But I don't think that's the be-all of end-all of I just stated, right? They have the cash. They've spent the least out of all of the hyperscalers and the top names, to the point that they can deploy it, and they wouldn't do it if it didn't make sense, in my opinion. So I'm not overly worried about it. It's best to get the best possible product than to put something out half. You know what I mean? That it isn't very good.
Yeah, let's just call it what it is, half-assed.
Half-assed, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't want to swear. But that's why Apple remains where it is, because we said it before, they didn't release Apple Intelligence. Why? Because it was hot garbage.
Exactly.
So they're willing to spend and partner with other companies in order to deliver that high-quality product, and that's exactly why they're sitting where they are right now.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, but this is the first time I've seen anyway Apple not get the chip design right.
Dude, Meta didn't get it right. Meta
I don't care what Meta does. You know what I mean? Like, with all due respect,
it just shows you what I'm getting at. It just shows how difficult it is to actually get it it right.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? NVIDIA is, speaking of the king of the chips right now, 202. We're gonna tap into 203, 203 momentarily. So yeah, I mean, it's a tough space. Meta spent a boatload of cash trying to do theirs. And some of the names that have been, and it's been admitted that the Amazon's Trainium processing unit, NVIDIA's is still worlds ahead, not worlds, but significantly better.
Because they're GPUs.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're GPUs, but the custom chips still haven't really lived up to what NVIDIA has had the ability to produce.
Because I think they're definitely not as flexible, but they're better at running specific programs.
Well, they're made specifically for something, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's not the end of the world for Apple to outsource these things. I know we were giving them quite a bit of heat with Apple Intelligence, but it's because they were promoting it before it was actually ready.
Fair enough. Trade K20, great question. Sharif, your daily note appears as a single page in the post section. I haven't come across multiple pages or a link to the complete note. Is there another place I be looking for full access? Yes, brother. So right here, this is the post section right here, Assassino. So right there, you'll see the headline and the page there. You just click read more. Read more, mosey on down to the link right there. Read full PDF here, it says. Just click that link and there you go. Multiple pages, if it'll load, there you go, brother, okay? So let me know if that helps solve the issue or you're still having trouble. So thank you for that question, because I'm sure a lot of other people had it as well. Let's send it back to Sia for the next story.
Thank you so much. Let's take a look at Delta. So DAL has launched a new basic business fare. So DAL is dividing up the front of the plane into even smaller groups now. I wonder who's done this before. It's offering new basic fare for business and first class that comes without the perks of free seat selection or even airport lounge access. So it's following, like I speculated, I just asked you that question, it's following United Airlines, as they had made a similar change earlier this year to their Polaris long-haul business class and also their other higher tier cabins. So as per reports from the company today, this basic tickets in the Delta One flat long-haul cabin will go live by the name new basic business, There's similar basic product also for first class, which is more common on the shorter haul routes and in premium economy. So what it entails is this means that customers on those tickets will get seats assigned at checked-in. They will not have any kind of lounge access, earn fewer miles also than more of these expensive options that are allowed, and only be allowed to make these cancellations for a certain fee. So there won't be any free or any half refunds or anything, and they don't have any option to change the same day standby or confirm flight changes. So a thing to keep in mind for this is also DAL is reporting pre-market on Friday. So stocks up 25% year to date, almost triple the return of the S&P 500 if you do look at it that way. And options traders are expecting a 6% swing in Delta shares after earnings. Adara, what is your opinion on DAL?
Yeah, to me, I think honestly, like this story is kind of a drop in the bucket. As you mentioned, all the airlines are doing it. I don't have anything to say on that. What I do want to say as well here, so yeah, with the options move, I always find with these expected moves, check right before the report because they'll change a lot. I want to talk about what to expect from earnings. I have not posted this yet. So it'll be posted on X at TTV Research tomorrow. But yeah, so last quarter, massive sales beat. They had pretty strong growth in a lot of their different sales segments. Passenger revenue up 7% year over year. Premium products up 14% year over year. But guys, their guidance for this quarter, yuck. Specifically for Q2 2026, which is a quarter we're going on coming up here, their EPS, they guided EPS for this quarter between $1 and $1.50 per share. That is going to be well below estimates of 228. So we're going to have to wait and see how that shakes out. But I found that guidance to be really, really noteworthy of all of the research you did into that last report. That's the thing I noticed the most. We'll have to see if they fare a little better here and if their guidance is a little better with this report. And UAL, which we mentioned here, they're also reporting earnings next week, I believe Wednesday after the bell. So a little bit of a mini airline earnings wave here to watch out for.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Sending it to the guys.
Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. I think Delta is a premium airline to begin with. My understanding, it's the best of the bunch in the United States. They're looking to build on top of that, but they also want to win new customers. So how does this change help anything? Because when the search algorithms look for that headline price number, it's going to come in a little bit lower, only, of course, to be added on, you know, whatever, seating charges, baggage charges, whatever that there's going to be. So it allows them to get you in, lure you in with a cheaper headline price, but then upsell you along the way and increase margins. I don't necessarily hate that. But it's also being done, as Adara and Sia mentioned, it's already being done by United under their Polaris cabins, right? We've seen this already from airlines where they're looking to expand their business and their first to either half or a third of the plane because they don't make really any money on economy. But the last thing that I want to say is that their forward contingent liability will also be reduced. Why? Because this basic business package, you're not going to earn any or very little in the way of frequent flyer miles. So frequent flyer miles, when you look at it from an accounting perspective from these airlines, it's a contingent forward future liability that they have to be able to meet should it be claimed by the holder, right? So this actually reduces some forward, contingent liability, and it could be good for margins. I happen to like Delta. I don't know how you feel. Have you flown Delta?
I think I've flown it once, to be honest with you, at one point. But American Airlines gets the big double thumbs down for me.
I just flew American. I liked it. Yeah,
Bro, I couldn't even get a drink, man. They were giving me a hard time.
You have that issue there. No, I didn't drink on the airplane, but the drink on the airplane, it's worse because you're at altitude. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'm a paying customer. I don't care.
Of course.
I'm not here to have a conversation about the altitude and how it affects me at the end of the day. But no, in all seriousness, I don't have really much to say about this other than the fact that we know that premium is where business class is where the majority of the money is made. They lose money when it comes to the economy aspect of things. I think this is good for the company. Oh, there goes TVRD. Other than that, I don't have much to say.
Okay.
Right movements. Q2, I will actually add on Adara's point. Well, the cost of oil just went through the absolute roof. Even though it wasn't heavily reflected on the price, you're going to see that definitely run into margins.
You know that they have their own refinery, right?
Delta does.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they hedge a lot through options contracts. There you go. Yeah. Luis probably got stopped out there. Hope he's good. Let's send it back to Sia for the next story.
We're talking about Waymo next. So Waymo's launched more driverless rides across the United States, 4 more of them. So it's rolling out its driverless vehicles in 4 new cities in the coming weeks, furthering its U.S. expansion and also building on its lead over domestic rivals. You don't know it, Tesla and Zoox, that's owned by Amazon. So Alphabet, in an announcement today, has said that the Robotaxi division will soon start offering fully autonomous rides in San Diego, Las Vegas, Tampa, Florida, and Denver. So the launch will initially be for employees, and the rollout would later be expanded to the public and available to the public. Waymo currently operates driverless cars in more than 10 cities. Waymo has a big head start in the market ahead of Tesla and Zoox, which are both also slowly pushing into new cities. So Zoox is preparing to launch its Robotaxi service to some members of the public in Austin, Texas, and Miami. That is later this year. So I would say that Tesla is also going beyond Austin into also some parts of Texas as well as Miami. But according to filings with the U.S. auto safety regulators as of May, Waymo's domestic fleet has had roughly 4,000 robo-taxis equipped with the company's 5th as well as 6th generation automated driving systems. And with that, Google is down on the day of very close to 2% right now.
Key issue there. Great points. Yeah, they're running the 4th and 5th generation. That creates an operational kind of problem as you're having to maintain 2 different gens of these vehicles. Separate story. I saw Waymo when I was in Dallas, but it was being driven by a driver. I was like so pumped. I got my phone out. I'm like, I'm going to see my first Waymo. And then there's a dude sitting in the driver's seat. So I wasn't very pumped about that. But look, guys, The new launch here, Sia mentioned it, San Diego, Las Vegas, Tampa, and Denver. The deployment will be strictly limited to internal employees first. Kind of highlights that they're still navigating these kind of local edge cases. So that's point number one. Point number two, they're trying to eat your boy's lunch. Zooks, they're coming after Zooks specifically here.
Why?
So the 4 chosen expansion markets represent an intentional, and I'll submit to you, an aggressive geography grab by anchoring itself to Florida and Denver. Alphabet's kind of box cutting Zooks, which is targeting Miami and Austin as well, of course, as well as Tesla before they can also establish their own public networks in those cities, right? And then Sia mentioned that they've got 4,000 active vehicles right now, but that's going to be spread across 14 different cities. That's pretty thin, right? So I don't think they have the requisite density right now to compete with Uber, right? On a car-for-car basis. But I do like this headline. I like where they're going.
Yeah.
And I like that I saw one in the wild.
Yeah, there you go. But that's what it is, though.
Yeah.
As you continuously see some, we've yet to see any, but I'm pretty sure Waymo's contract, as Brando was telling me, starts in early 2027 here in the city, right?
What a crazy bunch of weirdos. They're going to start in the winter? What the helly?
But what other time, because I feel like this is one of the major questions looming around this technology is the colder regions, right? That's
a great point, bro.
Right? I think that's really what's the overhang amongst this massive technology. It's nice when it's all sunshine and rainbows with a little bit of rain. That's easy to deal with.
But you don't also think it's really good in cities with bad public transportation? Like, I found myself taking Ubers everywhere I went in Texas because their public transportation is hot garbage.
No, I don't mean it by that, Sharif. From a technology standpoint, it's great, obviously, when there's less public transportation, but I'm talking about from an environmental standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? It's going to make, if we have hefty snowfalls, what's going to happen to all the cameras? Who's cleaning those cameras? And I believe that's a legit question here. That is a legit question. And how are you going to navigate that stuff as you're driving? You know how the slush stockpiles and cakes onto
cameras getting dirty, sensors.
Right? So what does that mean for the LiDAR? And what does that mean? And what does that mean for Elon Musk's camera system? Now, someone said you could just easily clean it up. Well, are you going to? And I like the point that Sean brought up as well. It won't allow you to go into full self-drive mode. But what happens when the cybercab is here and there's no steering wheel to the point where you literally can't take control of the vehicle?
My understanding is there's going to be automated cleaning systems for the cameras. There has to be.
But how powerful could those be?
They have to be consistent and constant.
Right? You have to put it through some extreme weather because when the ice and the slush forms up, it gets very, very difficult.
Completely agree with you.
Right?
These are the practical applications we have to
exactly
get to,
right, and I think that's a good spot to start. But anyways, Zoox is dominating Vegas. Now you have Waymo starting to roll into there. But bit by bit, Sharif, we're starting to see these autonomous vehicles gain more popularity, and I am going to stay within the camp. In the next couple of years, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, in the next decade, people are going to be like, what am I even taking control of a steering wheel for?
Well,
put me in the autonomous vehicle.
Some people talk about the whole same thing, man.
Listen, I understand people like to drive, and with NASCAR, you like to go left and you like to go fast, real left and real fast, and it destroys the purpose. But for the urban individual like myself, imagine I got to wake up in the morning, go to my underground garage, hit the button, drive to work, and then that's it.
I wouldn't even go to the underground garage. I'd summon it to the front door.
Yeah, there you go, right? Just right to the front door, meet me here, and then you just sit back and you're kidding. Especially for the people who have those lengthy commutes. I think it's a game-changing technology. And
imagine reclaiming your commute time that you could actually work in or get calls done, whatever your nature
whatever
of your
you
business
needed
is.
to do, man.
You could reclaim that time. People have 45-minute and hour commutes in their city.
Yeah, man.
Standard stuff. You know what I mean?
And some of those people, and think about it, as you get older as well, too, you get a little bit more anxious 100%. And scared on the road. So.
And we've made this argument about robotics really helping with our older population, the seniors, the boomers, or the baby boomers, right? Think with robotics helping them around the house. Think about, my dad doesn't drive anymore because he's got macular degeneration. My mom gets super anxious when she
Oh,
drives.
you don't even
right?
understand.
So the point is, I completely
Right, it
agree.
just makes it easier. Now, it's a totally different question on whether, because I feel like my grandmother and your mother would be in the same camp, for them to adopt the technology because
That's the problem.
That's
Well
a big,
said.
completely different
Well said.
story because they wouldn't trust it.
Well said.
But for us, we unfortunately, Sharif, we will be that age one day, and hopefully we already have that technology integrated into our day-to-day lifestyle where we can kind of just go with the flow and allow it to be on the road a little bit longer.
Yes, sir. But having said that, I still like to have the option to drive. Yeah, because I like driving. Like, it's freeing.
But are you going to like it in 20 years?
I don't know.
Yeah, right?
I don't mind it as long as the traffic doesn't get as bad. You'll own nothing and love it, says OG Trader. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Rally. If they ever get safety controls in place, imagine using it to pick up my kids from school. Reclaim your time, right? Reclaim your time. That's kind of why I think about it.
Randy's commute, even though he's all about the ICE engines, he would like to maybe get some of his commute time back.
I saw a Waymo in Fort Worth, but it was being driven by an individual. So it was kind of like a tease there, Randy. But we're talking right now about the expansion of Waymo into a couple of new markets. They're strategically kind of like placing them where Zoox and or Tesla haven't been yet. So kind of get the run up on them a little bit, get into that area. We're also talking about, some of their fourth and fifth gen. So they've got this new platform. I don't know if you know, but they've tied the knot with Geely. Did you know about this?
I heard about it, but I don't know the details.
You want to see the new Waymo?
Absolutely.
Waymo. Let's show this.
I have a challenge.
Geely.
I have a challenge for Waymo.
What is it?
Here it is, Randy. This is what we're talking about right here. This is the new format of the Waymo. And Randy, they are paying 100% tariffs to bring these in from China. And they're doing it all while President Trump, is engaging in this sort of tariff debacle with China. This is it right here, man. This is going to be...
I gotta honestly say...
It doesn't look that bad.
That's ugly.
It is, of course, it's ugly. Look, but this is what it is, Randy.
Oh, you know what I seen on one of my walks the other day?
Yeah, go for it. I'm just gonna keep showing this.
The EV bug.
So look at this. I want you to see this.
Yeah, the big
look at
one.
this.
Yeah.
This is it. So this is the system that's going to be in place. There's going to be cleaning for all the sensors, as well as you've got to assume heating as well.
It has to, Sharif. But my question being is that looks fancy, but it better be well constructed.
It better work.
Right? Because think about it, when you're on the highway, you're flying, the slush is accumulating, the ice, it's now caked on ice. It's not the easiest material to clean off, right? It can't be no wimpy, half-assed window wiper.
Pardon me, Katina, man? The Robotaxi, they do go on highways. Yeah, they do.
What is the point of having it if you can only go on urban streets?
So I was driving my ICE vehicle home just a couple days ago, and a big old fat raccoon jumped out of me at probably about 90 kilometers an hour.
Okay.
He just went
walking like get off the road, bro.
I want to see Waymo deal with that.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. No, that's actually a good point.
No, they have to run over. You can't swerve. You can't slam your brakes.
I've seen Waymo swerve. Oh, sorry, Teslas. My mistake. Swerve out of a lane.
Yeah.
So it was going to be a rear end, and the Tesla went into the other lane.
I was coming
on its
off
own.
a hill. This fella was not in any hurry whatsoever. He was having a jolly old time, just across.
That is a problem.
Yo, so I
would
could
be a
see
problem.
those in the winter, especially with the ice and the slush, as you mentioned. Up here in Northern Ontario, we had bugs smeared all over the front of your car, and the wipers ain't taking those off. So I don't know. Yeah, there's going to be some challenges, but
I bet. Yeah.
anyway.
Of course, there's going to be challenges. We're still in the infancy of the technology.
I still like driving. So
do I, man.
A lot of people are saying that, and that's totally fine. But think about it. I just believe it's going to be significantly easier to just allow the vehicle to do everything for you, so you don't lose your mind driving on the road.
See Rivian today? It's recovering, eh? It's just at the day's highs right now. Rivian's at the day high right now. All right. The bounce. We good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's send it back to Sia.
Thank you. Let's talk about oil. So oil surging yet again, as we do know, we've been seeing it throughout the day. We've been hearing what's going on. They've surged after U.S. President Donald Trump has declared that the U.S.-Iran ceasefire, effectively following renewed military strikes and escalating tensions in the Strait of Hormuz. So the U.S. has also revoked a waiver that had allowed Iran to continue selling oil that has resulted in tightening global supply expectations. So the U.S. has also additionally launched strikes on more than 80 Iranian targets after commercial vessels that were transiting through the Strait of Hormuz were attacked. And reports have also come in earlier today that the United States is on standby and will launch more strikes if commanded and needed. So Iran has condemned the operation and vowed to defend its sovereignty. That is raising fears of a broader regional conflict. So with that, we have USO that's up almost close to 3% on the day, followed by Brent hovering around the $78 region, up 3.7%, and WTI up again close to 3%, hovering around the $71.5 region.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm just going to give it to you guys straight aside from the fact that U.S. crude and petroleum exports hit record levels in April. It's a back and forth with Donald Trump. I'm not going to take everything that he says literal. Obviously, you take him serious, but he says a lot of things. Do they happen? Some of them do, some of them don't. He gets ahead of himself, in my opinion, at times. And with this being said, I don't think he's going to go back to dropping bombs. Once again, could I be totally wrong? Absolutely. But it's just the ongoing back and forth to the point where it's just becoming noise. And when you're just continuously going on about certain things, it just goes in one ear and out the other for me personally in regards to this oil. If it decides to pop, then so be it. And if it sells off, then hey, congratulations to whoever's short oil. But again, it's just an ongoing thing with this conflict, and I think it's just a little bit of muscle flexing at the exact same time. That's all I have to say about the oil and the conflict going on in the Middle East, because it's just an ongoing thing. Eventually, it'll come to a conclusion, and I'll just be sitting here doing the exact same thing, whether this war goes on or it doesn't. That's how I feel.
Let's talk Apple again, but this time Apple and China. So Apple's reportedly begun testing DRAM memory chips from China's state-backed Changxin Memory Technologies, which is CXMT, for devices sold within China, while also at the same time lobbying the U.S. government to permit broader use of this particular supplier. So this reflects that Apple's effort to diversify its supply chain inside of China, but it's also reviving geopolitical concerns as well, because CXMT is viewed as a key player in Beijing's push to build a self-sufficient semiconductor industry. We've been hearing reports about that. So CXMT is expected to grow its global DRAM market share from roughly 11%, that is last year, to 15% by the year 2028. So this positions it alongside Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron as a major memory supplier. Before I send it to the guys, Adara, what's your comments on this?
Honestly, I have a feeling that this story, once it gets heated up, is going to become another NVIDIA China chip sales thing, where at first it really cares. So Apple actually just got an interesting candle here. If I see anything on that, I'll let you know. But regardless, the point I'm trying to make here with Apple is, I think, so you guys know, we had like, oh, NVIDIA is going to be able to sell chips to China. Oh, wait, never mind. No, they won't. Oh, yes, they will. Oh, no, they won't. Back and forth. Like that, you know what I mean? That whole cycle. So I have a feeling that this could be the same with Apple. Now, obviously, it's a bit different because, as we've discussed numerous times, including this morning, these chips are not actually banned. The military just can't use them. That being said, I don't think that's going to be, to quote Obi, distinctly different enough for it to matter for, you know, the likes of these politicians that are going to have an issue with it. Like last time I listed a whole bunch of senators for you guys off the top of my head. We already know Tom Cotton already voiced that he doesn't want Apple to do this. Josh Hawley, another anti-China, anti-big tech type guy. So I have a feeling that even if the Trump administration allows it, they might face too much pushback for them to even allow this to go through. So we're going to have to wait and see. But I have a feeling this is going to be another one of those flip-flop kind of stories until we get anything that we know for a fact that the company has addressed that this is 100% happening. And I have a feeling until the government speaks on it, probably going to be a little bit of a standstill. We'll have to wait and see.
Thank you so much for that, Adara. Let's send it to the guys and see what they have to say about this one.
Well, it might not be a flip-flop for long, Adara, because what they're going to do is they're going to actually use these pieces of RAM for the iPhones that they sell in China. That's what they're going to start first. So these are going to be China within China-specific iPhones that they're going to use these CXMT's DRAM for, with a view, of course, to possibly expanding usability of that RAM for outside of China sales. And that's what kind of is undecided at the moment. As the girls mentioned, this is a company that's blacklisted by the Pentagon, meaning that government contractors can't do business with the CXMT. But CXMT has a lot of ambition when you look at some of their history here. Currently, they have about 11% of the DRAM supply chain all over the world, and they have aspirations to grow that to 15% within 2 years by the end of 28. So this would be a great runway for them should they be able to get the Apple contract. The only thing for me is I don't personally see the Trump administration giving Apple too much leeway here. Okay, I think Apple may have to take the hit to margins, and they're going to find no sympathy from the Trump administration. The Trump administration has already shown its lack of sympathy for margins for other companies.
Yeah.
Case in point, the Walmarts. Another point, the oil, right? They want prices low. They don't care as much about, whether or not you're maintaining your margins. Yeah, they're going to care if the stock market tanks. I'm not saying that they don't care, but I don't think this is the end all and be all for the market. So just to kind of recap my point, I think we see Apple use this sooner rather than later, but on China-specific phones and China-specific phones only.
Yeah.
And then I don't see the Trump administration giving them the nod to use it outside of that. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that Apple's going to have to eat the margins.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more, Sharif. Just to add to your point, it's. I think the difference here, though, is Apple's footprint in China compared to NVDA's footprint, which is going to allow them to use these chips. But again, I'm in the exact same camp as Adara, Sharif. I believe there's a slight chance, it's a little bit better than zero, that they're going to allow them here. It's probably closer to zero, and as close to zero as you could possibly get, that they're going to allow that to happen just due to Donald Trump's onshoring plan. And we've seen the flip-flop between is China getting them, is China not? And until you actually see CXMT's DRAM chips here, then I wouldn't even play any form of, or pay any form of attention to it. So I'm in the exact same camp. I believe it's going to be allowed in China. Why not? Because if these iPhones are produced there, why not use that? But there's very, very little chance that they're going to be allowed to.
But like the comparison with the NVIDIA story, to me, while interesting, I don't think it checks out line by line, because it's the Chinese regulator we know that's preventing Chinese tech companies from really buying the H200 en masse. Now, we saw a bit of an exception to that today when NVIDIA said that they were going to be able to sell some. But the Commerce Department, if you believe the reports, gave NVIDIA the nod back in January, February, or whatever it was, right, to go ahead and sell the H200. But the Chinese don't want, because they want to champion their local alternative.
Huawei.
Well, exactly.
But at one point, I remember, but see, this is where the flip-flop happened, Street, because I remember reading an article on the fact that some of the larger corporations applied for their permit, and it was approved by the Chinese regulators at one point in order for them to order it. And then the United States was like, nah, we don't know if we want to sell them our best chips.
Well, I think that you've always had people in the States that didn't want to sell anything to NVIDIA.
Both sides.
Absolutely.
Both sides.
There's hawks on both sides. But my understanding is that it's the Chinese who are blocking the shipments to China, not the Americans blocking the export of the H200 to China.
And so what I'm adding to your point is the flip-flop in the fact that it was Alibaba and another company that applied for them, and they were approved, but then it was just like, no, okay, we don't know what we're going to give them. We don't know
what you're saying.
If like, you know what I mean? So it's just that constant flip-flop, because there was headlines when you and I both went over, is that, okay, Chinese regulators approving it. Next day, oh, the United States doesn't want to approve it. And then you go back, okay, yeah, never mind, we're not doing that again. So that's where the flip-flop comes, because it's he said, she said, and then eventually it got to the point where like, all right, we're not doing it.
Yeah, that's exactly the point I was trying to make, Joe. So thank you for making it a lot better than I did. But that was exactly.
No, but that's what
is that accurate though? Did the Commerce Department block the sale seriously?
Yeah.
To some of these Chinese companies.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like so China approved it, and then apparently it was denied once again. And they're like, hey, okay, yeah, what's going on over here? We'll sell you something, but not the Blackwell. And then China's like, no, we don't want anything.
Well, we knew the Blackwell wasn't going to go.
It was off the table. It was off the table, right? But it just goes to the flip-flop. It's just really hard to follow when it's like he said, she said in both sides.
All right, let's talk about this headline.
Yeah, SpaceX just dropped here to new all-time lows, the lowest level we've ever seen this trade. Not sure if this is 100% correlated, but right as I saw this drop, I also saw CNBC report that apparently JP Morgan has called the possibility of a SpaceX-Tesla merger, quote, strategically coherent. So maybe not related, could have just been a technical break, but either way, SpaceX at all-time lows. Here is TSLA not really reacting to the story. Again, a JP Morgan analyst apparently views a SpaceX-Tesla merger as, quote, strategically coherent.
Thank you so much for that, Dara. That is motivated for the next story as well. Relevant because that is SpaceX sliding to the downside, down 2.2% at the moment. We're going to take a look at also the lunar expansion story that we're going to discuss here. So SpaceX is continuing to expand beyond its launch services with two notable developments. That is Japan's iSpace selected Starship to transport its lunar cargo mission, targeting a moon landing around the year 2030 and also highlighting growing commercial demand for SpaceX's lunar transportation business. And at the same time, founder Elon Musk has also announced that Grok 4.5, G-R-O-K 4.5, will expand into public beta after positive customer feedback with its latest AI model that's already being tested internally at Tesla and SpaceX. So the lunar agreement also further strengthens Starship's long-term commercial opportunity, while at the same time continued AI integration across Musk's companies shows to us and highlights rather a growing collaboration between SpaceX, XAI, and Tesla. With that, we have SpaceX still falling, a little bit of an uptick, but still falling 2.17% at the moment.
Where are you short, Katina Man? 151.60. Katina Man short 151.60 on SPCX, about to lose 146. Let's talk about this. So Grok 4.5, as Sia mentioned, it's supposed to have fantastic technical and coding capabilities without kind of identifying the architecture it's driving on. This is part and parcel of the difference between this and Opus, but that's what Elon Musk took to X to make the comparisons. He said it's as capable, it's an Opus class model, but not as slow and not as costly to run. Those are his assertions. So we'll have to see exactly how that all does. Get it, Katina Man? Losing 146, as we were mentioning there. But guys, to be quite honest with you, this is coming very, very at a good time for Grok, because Grok has lost about 28% of their average daily users over the past 3 months and only now has about 8.7% of the market share for LLMs in the United States. So they need something here to move the needle. And 4.5, apparently, if you believe the reports, is supposed to be quite capable. I no longer have a paid membership with Grok, so I don't think I'll get access to that immediately, but I do have with Claude, and Fable is back, and it is fantastic. Last but not least, this iSpace here from Japan, very interesting, because they've crash landed this lunar module or whatever a bunch of times, so they clearly don't have the delivery capabilities, hence the tie-up here with SpaceX to use Starship at some point in the future. Because, you know, this is supposed to be quite interesting. It's a mobile cargo system, and it acts as a post-landing lunar taxi. So just using Starship here as a kind of a bus, but they do retain control over like what they're calling the lunar surface logistics. So let's see how that all plays out. Kind of pumped about that, man. I love this space.
So a headline just dropped here, Sharif. So Grok 4.5 is not yet available in the EU or in any SpaceX product or the API console.
It's supposed to be released today.
Yeah, apparently.
Or, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. You know what I really like, though, is that I think it can help gain some ground for Grok, is it having it in the Tesla vehicle.
Oh, yeah. Right? Well, we should ask Sean about that, because have you been using Grok? Have you been using Grok in your Tesla? Just for random stuff. But do you get it to do your itinerary planning? Because okay, he does use it for itinerary planning, which is fantastic, because like I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube of people doing that.
Oh shit. Okay, Big 40, man. I wish you all the best, man.
What happened?
He was saying peace out to both you and I for the next little while, but now he's
Hi, man. He's gone for a little bit.
He's
But 40, gonna miss the Bash Brothers. Hope to see you guys still bringing the energy. See you in 2029. Where are you going, man?
You got to read the next thing that he then stated, Sharif.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Publicly.
All right, man. That's all right, brother. We'll see you when you get out, man.
Keep your chin up, man.
Exactly, man.
Yeah, keep your chin up,
We'll
man.
be right here, and I hope everything works out.
Yeah, keep that chin up. Hit those push-ups.
Exactly.
As well, too.
Use your time wisely.
Yeah, man, for sure, man.
We love you, brother. We'll be here when you get out, man.
40.
But now we got to send it to Sia.
Yeah. And then we roll over.
Adara. Okay, let's send it up to Adara.
A little bit of an uptick in the market. I'm still going to read through these, but here are some of the highlights. Apparently, most Fed participants cited that there's a possibility that inflation could stay high due to AI related aspects, I guess, here. They also said they welcome a review of communications tools and practices, very much in line with comments made by new Fed Chair Kevin Warsh about his task forces, which include focusing on communication. They also said that most participants preferred not to repeat previous statement language that suggested an easing bias. So again, kind of easing up on the easing bias. They said in such scenarios, all participants here indicated some policy firming would likely be warranted in certain scenarios here. The Fed staff forecast for inflation in 2026 and 2027 was higher than in the April forecast. The forecast here for inflation, a little bit higher in June than it was in April. Still reading through these minutes, but yeah, guys, generally just a little bit more cautious than what we were seeing at the April meeting, and also looking to, get rid of that easing statement and review the Fed's communication policies. Cough, cough, we might see the dot plot go away. Back to the guys.
The dot